Don't do the theme, X-Ray Girl.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Something's wrong with my button. No, that's real applause. That's real applause. What the hell is that? What?
Blowfish.
Jesus Christ, you'd think we'd stream before.
Pufferfish, not a blowfish. I don't know why blow came in my head.
Oh my god.
Sorry, folks.
Pufferfish.
Welcome to the real BBC. Bagging, boarding, and chatting. My name is Gary. Come from my mom's vagina. And we're going to talk about things and stuff, including the Oscars and the third lowest rated Oscars in history, which shouldn't surprise anybody, and why that is. Disney's canceling stuff because they're racist. We're going to call them out for it, for the bigots that they are, and many other things. Daredevil's coming up tonight. We got the big Daredevil show. Will this begin the big Marvel turnaround that will save it? That we'll hear pretty much after reviews of the first two episodes. For sure. Hi, Az.
Hi. No.
Okay, thanks. Good night, everybody.
No, if the show's good and it signs are pointing that it is probably going to be good, which is awesome. But is this gonna be the savior? No, because the rest of the shit which is coming afterwards ain't gonna be anything like this. So it's gonna be like Daredevil and Wolverine, but the TV
Daredevil and Wolverine.
Yeah, it's gonna be an anomaly.
You mean Deadpool and Wolverine?
What did I say?
Daredevil and Wolverine.
Sure, they can make that. That's the next film coming out. That's the next one they're gonna do to save. It's whoever and Wolverine.
Whoever and Wolverine.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, MauLer.
Hello.
What are you up to?
Spending the week between working, and trying to complete my adventure through Daredevil season 1, 2, 3, and Defenders. Not that I haven't seen it before. I hadn't seen Defenders before, but now I'm all refreshed and caught right back up. Almost. I got a bit left right in time for the release of the next 2 episodes. So I'm gonna be with my magnifying glass. Like, you guys better not have. One thing on that front, by the way, that's already like annoying, but it shouldn't, be too big of a deal, is in one of those TV spots or trailers or whatever, he's in like a bed and he's laying down and he hasn't got any of his scars. If you remember, he has a lot of scars from it's something cool they kept throughout the seasons, especially from Nobu, to the point where someone would ask him and he'd be like, yeah, this was from a fucking psycho ninja who scraped the hell out of me. Specifically 2 near his shoulders, and they're gone. And I was just like, man, it's okay. It's a small detail, but it would have been nice.
He must have meditated to heal those scars.
I don't think that's how scars work.
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't think so either.
X-Ray Girl just solved hospitals.
She did.
Just meditate.
Thank you. I'm having my coffee delivered. Don't.
Also,
please continue. Thanks.
We did the last EFAP was we covered a couple of things in relation to a couple of subjects, but we looked at the Kathleen Kennedy interview from was it Deadline? I can't remember which article it was, but dude, that shit was funny. Have you guys read it?
No. Oh, we should. Oh, the fluff piece with the response in it. Yeah, I think we should read that.
She's so mad in the article. And she answers the question of, are you leaving, in 5 different ways. You get, no, definitely not. Yes, pretty soon. Yes, once it's been fully discussed. And yes, but also no, because once I leave, whoever's next, I will be puppeteering them. Like, you get all of those answers throughout the article.
Oh, we'll find it. We will definitely cover that. That's a great idea. We got like a
Well,
little piece of it, but I'd like to. Yeah, we should go over the whole thing. Why not? Why the hell not? Hi, X-Ray Girl.
Hi. I have brought a huge suspicious amount of women on the stream. You're welcome, chat.
Great. Great. Just as long as you're, just quiet, sit there, speak when spoken to, we'll be fine.
So we're satisfied.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. But first, let's take a look at these Oscar ratings. Go to the Variety article. There's a Variety one. They try to spin it. There was problems. So I did the watch party with Chris and everybody, as was not there. You were missed. You were missed.
I was asleep.
You were asleep. I was awake. Kind of. Barely awake. And it turns out not a lot of people watched. Now, it's still a big number comparatively to other shows, 18.1 million. But to give you some kind of reference, that in the year 2000, almost 50 million people watched. In the 80s and 90s, it was in the 60 millions. It was competing with the Super Bowl. And up until as recently as 2017, 18, even maybe 19, they were in the 30s. They were well into the 30 millions. And then, of course, COVID happens. They have their lowest Oscars ever. It's 10 million. Then it pops up to the worst political year I've seen in living memory was 2022, was 16 million. And it crept up from COVID until this time. This is the first time it's actually fallen back. How did that get over there? There we go. Oscars hit 18.1 million viewers, down 7% from last year. Now they're going to come out with a lot of excuses because this is the first year they streamed it on Hulu, and Hulu it had problems. People couldn't log in, and I think it crashed after Best Director, which is great. Disney paid $72 billion to get Fox and Hulu, and then a few more billion to pry it away from Comcast. Great job. Great job. It's almost as good as that Jake Paul Tyson fight. The streaming was really smooth for that. Just under 18.1 million people turned into ABC's telecast. That's the American Broadcasting Corporation. Limeys. Telecast of the 97th Academy Awards on Sunday, making a 7% decrease from last year. That total, which comes from a combination of Nielsen measurements of linear viewers on ABC plus live stream, so that's combining the live stream, as in MauLer, on Hulu, indicates the ceremony's first viewership drop in 4 years. 4 years. In 2021, the first ceremony after the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic and the government's horrible response to it, saw an all-time low of 10.4 million viewers. But Hollywood's biggest night saw consecutive growth for 3 years after that, hitting 16.6 million viewers in 2022, and 18.8 million in 2023, and 19.5 million last year. Still, guys, here comes the still. 18.1 million viewers was enough to make the Oscars the most watched and primetime entertainment, meaning not sports or not news, telecast of the 2024-2025 TV season thus far. Has anything come out of note? Or I think things have just come out. It also had the highest rating among adults age 18 to 49 this season with a 3.92, up 3% from last year. And when isolated to adults 18 to 34, it was the highest rated Oscars in 5 years with 3.17, while still being the third lowest rated Oscars in history. It should also be noted that Hulu's live stream was interrupted by technical difficulties less than half an hour into the ceremony. Upwards of 34,000 users reported problems accessing the streamer, and down detector at 5:48 p.m., almost 2 hours in, the X account for Hulu support posted the service had been restored for affected users, but issues were reported again towards the end of the ceremony, just before the announcement of Best Picture. because the telecast was scheduled to conclude at 7:32 p.m., but ran long. Some users lost access to the live stream early. It can be assumed that the overall viewership total would have been at least slightly higher, if not for these technical errors. At the same time, this is the first year that Disney has simulcast the Oscars on Hulu, so streaming numbers did not factor into previous year's totals, meaning it's a little lower for that linear stuff. That's it's the third what they failed to mention in this article. You can take it down. Is it's the third lowest in Oscars history, and it shouldn't be surprising. So MauLer, how many Best Picture nominees did you see? Do I need to get the list up? You probably don't even
hard
know.
at work on this insane project of mine to the point where I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna wait until it all settles and then find out from broadly all of you which one I should be or which ones I should be checking out. I don't know. I'm trying to live my own perspective that I don't give a fuck about the Oscars. I truly don't, and so therefore, whoever they pick as like which is funny, by the way, considering this year all I have seen is people complaining about who's getting awards absolutely shouldn't be getting the awards. This includes the films and the actors, so down to writers, whatever have you. So from what I have heard, Anora is the film I should see, and The Substance, which I have seen, and already I feel like we're almost out in terms of films that are must-sees versus films that you should see if you want the context of the Oscars, which, yeah, I've just not had the time and I haven't found myself caring that much, so there we are. But Anora, yeah, I'm going to check that out at some point, for sure.
Anora's okay. I mean, you'll like it. It's like, it's a well-made movie. It is. In any other, I mean, it won 5 Oscars, and in any other year, maybe it gets nominated. And you can't discount the effect that Amelia Perez had on it, because that was going to win everything up until those tweets.
See, I'm avoiding watching that until it's recorded that I'm watching it, because I with a bunch of people and maybe alcohol. Sounds like fun.
As a sober guy, I might recommend that because it's tough. It's tough, but it's funny. It's funny that it got 13 nominated. It did win some, surprisingly enough, but it was gonna effing sweep, dude, until those tweets came out. It was absolutely gonna sweep. And remember, those tweets came out before the voting. It was after the nomination voting, but before the actual voting. And then we find out later that a bunch of people who voted, not a bunch, but it's anecdotal, but a few people through, behind anonymity, stated to the Hollywood Reporter or Variety, one of the two, that they hadn't even watched all the Best Pictures. They didn't watch Dune.
Yeah, I heard about. Wasn't it like I can't remember what their reasoning was. They found the first one boring, so they didn't care or something about Dune, and then they didn't. Wasn't there some other really wacky reasoning? Like Ralph Fiennes already has an Oscar, so there's no point in him winning when he doesn't.
Because it's not like people haven't won multiple Oscars before.
He doesn't have one though. It's not even.
I mean, yeah, and he never even won.
This is what I mean. Like, I was already completely zoned out on the Oscars as an operation, but seeing people summarize, it's like fucking hell. There's like less legitimacy for the Oscars than there would be for like if I made the Fappies and it was just a bunch of awards for, based on the votes of a cast that we just cobbled together randomly. I actually kind of hate the Oscars a little bit because I just don't think it adds anything to film. I think it just takes it away.
I think it's a model. It's a tired model from the 20th century that's outlived its usefulness. There's the article where they talk about Dune. And the pomp and circumstance worked back then. It doesn't work now, thanks to social media. Now that we've gotten to know the celebrity, and even when they're quiet, like they clearly got a memo and bent the knee. Like there was 3 comments. But that's completely tame compared to the 22 show. The 21 and 22 shows were super political. But this one wasn't. This one wasn't. They were clearly like, okay, we fucked up. We're just going to go back to being a normal show. And it still doesn't get watched by anybody because it really helps to have movies. I mean, like independent films and there used to be the Oscar darling, right? But Harvey, I don't want to get in the full history, but Harvey Weinstein through fucking payola, let's just call it, kind of ruined it with this Miramax stuff. And we started getting Shakespeare in Love winning Best Picture when it shouldn't have. And these really crappy independent movies that are completely overrated for the most part. There might be one or two exceptions that started winning. And that's what it started turning into. That's why it was so, the days of Lord of the Rings winning, and they're still are gone, and there's still genre bias to this day. Not that there was a lot this year. Like this year, they had nothing to choose from. The best movie, I mean, I've seen this year, but like Better Man was better than most of the Best Picture nominees, and it's the biggest flop of the year. But it's a better movie. It's a better movie. So, how you doing? How many Best Picture nominees did you see?
What were the best pictures?
You saw Dune?
I saw Dune.
Oh, I saw that one too, yeah.
I saw The Substance, if that was nominated as well.
Yep.
So I saw Dune 2 and I saw The Substance.
Okay.
Which I loved, by the way.
Look at us.
I loved it. I actually enjoyed The
film
Substance
people.
more than Dune 2. Can I just say that?
X-Rager, I put that article in the private chat. So if we
You know
go...
what's wacky about Dune 2 is the most I ever see said about it over and over and over again is that one shot where the Harkonnens float up to the like a rock or whatever. I see that shit all the time. It's a shame that people don't talk as much about what happens in it and the characters, the story sort of thing. It's more so how well it's shot, which is, I think, one of the several fates of a Villeneuve film is that instead of being discussed of its story, it'll be that shot was amazing though, and it's like it was. Anyway,
I just didn't find the second part is good, but it wasn't.
I prefer the first part.
Yeah, I didn't find it in any way kind of outshone the first. The first one I saw multiple times because I just thought it was incredible, and the second one I saw once. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of just done. I'm kind of done with once. Yeah.
Yeah. Great energy this morning, by the way. It's great energy. The fuck?
It's post Oscars.
You don't be talking about the Oscars. I don't give a.
I know it's
boy. That's the energy I'm looking for, MauLer.
Fucking Oscars is like apathy central, man.
That's
like
pretty
who
much...
gives a fuck? You've
Listen,
got
Gary,
two
I got
fucking
Oscar
skeletons
fatigue, okay?
dancing or singing with each other on the stage. You got some woman who comes up and goes, "Hey, guess what? Let's give a shout out to fucking sex workers." Because, nothing says don't totally give up on your dreams, girls, and just fucking spread your legs on OnlyFans like a fucking Oscar twat. And then what else do you have? Nobody fucking gives a shit. Nobody knows what the fucking best films were. Nobody fucking cares anymore. Everyone's on fucking social media who came before to this fucking ceremony waffling on about why they're a fucking retard, why they are queers for Palestine or this or that. You can't say these words. You can't say those words. It's so fucking sanitized and censored and fake and phony. It's perfect Hollywood. Nobody fucking cares about the Oscars.
No. And apparently, as MauLer stated, some of the voters mistakenly believe that Ralph Fiennes won before.
Actually, on that note, just real quick, I like Conan O'Brien's joke where he said, if Ray Fiennes loses this nomination after another 3, we finally get to call him Ralph.
I'm going to call him Ralph. It's Ralph. It's Ralph. And yes, a couple of voters admitted to just not even watching Dune. They were like, I didn't want to see it. I wasn't into the first one. I didn't want to see it.
But I watch a trans murdering psychopath thing.
It's such a basic thing of like, okay, so the Oscars, bunch of people vote, a bunch of nominees to decide who gets the awards. Cool. So step 1, they have to watch the movies, right? You're like, no. Okay. I feel like there's a flaw in your system.
Informed voters, clearly.
Yeah, but yeah, that's just it. If they are casting a vote, did you see them all? No. How can you cast a vote if you haven't seen them all?
Because I can feel it.
Yeah, we can just tell. The fact of the matter is, like, how that happens all the fucking time. You know it happens. You know most of the voters.
They're not supposed to tell us, though, guys.
I know. I know. But thank you for your honesty. Okay, so we had I don't know about if this is too soon or not. Did you see the firefighters roast Joker too?
No.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's in the private
Ooh,
chat,
that.
X-Ray Girl.
I still don't care.
About Joker 2? No one does.
No one does.
Yeah. Oh, hooray for
Well, our hearts go out to all of those who have lost their homes. And I'm talking about the producers of Joker 2.
I like the idea that everyone's not sure how to react to that.
Yeah, this is like, do we just open a mouth but don't quite commit?
Well, our hearts.
Too soon.
Wow. At least they're firefighters. They can.
Yeah, what are you going to give them shit? You guys didn't even give them any damn water to fight your damn fires. You should just be quiet and let them take it. Like, the Oscars are so beyond being relevant. It's kind of a joke. You're right. Watching it it was survive until 25, and now it's going to be we'll see if they survive for a couple more years, because it's indicative of what's been going on in Hollywood. People are just sick of it. They're tired of people in $100,000. Well, that's probably low. $2 million dresses and $500,000 necklaces that could buy a house in Palisades once it's rebuilt, telling you how to live. And even just the thought of it, people are done. And it's a long show. And when you're putting up stuff like Anora and A Complete Unknown. So I watched a bunch of them. Not everyone, but like nothing stood out as like worthy of a Best Picture nominee outside of maybe I get why Wicked was, and Dune 2 and Substance, and everything else, including Anora, I just thought was like in any other year, I don't think this would even get us.
Okay, can I ask a question?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You said I can understand why Wicked got nominated. Can you legitimately just explain to me
Elaborate
why you understand? Yeah.
Why it got nominated by an Academy in Los Angeles. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, dude. Have you seen Wicked?
Oh God, no! I'm straight.
It's really good. Okay.
Okay.
That doesn't give you enough information.
No, that just supported my argument.
Understanding does not mean I support the decision. Okay?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to play or trap you into anything. I'm just what I'm trying to get at is, if it's absolutely perfectly okay for Wicked to get nominated because it's musical theater type of thing which the Hollywood lovies go to, and they're all in for. Then why didn't Dark Knight get nominated back in 2008 or whenever? Stuff like it's complete genre bias. It's a joke. The Oscars are a joke themselves because their genre bias just constantly shines through, and movies that should get the attention that it deserves might not be the genre that they particularly prefer, but if you they can't even watch the films. The bias against genre. This is a joke of a system. So the whole fucking system behind the Oscars in itself is just so loaded. So why even bother?
Yes, and like that was my attitude a long time ago. When remember they changed the Best Picture the amount of because it used to be 5 or 6, and they changed it to 10 because of Dark Knight because Dark Knight wasn't nominated, and it was fucking ridiculous. And we could go back. There's actually an article on that we can check out in a little bit, like the times they got it wrong. But yeah, genre drives the industry right now, and it still doesn't have a lot of respect. That should tell you that once Hollywood can get off this superhero train, believe me, they will. Even Rob Liefeld said it in his podcast, and I've heard this from people like Bruce Campbell too. Hollywood hates superhero films. They hate how expensive it is. They can't stand them, and they can't wait to be done with them. But they're stuck with them, and it shows in how they make them. They still make them like they're embarrassed by them. They hate them. Great example, Lanterns. Why not call it Green Lanterns? Well, because we don't want to make it too superhero. That's silly. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but comedy, I know certainly the superhero, but comedy also suffers from this same thing as well. Yeah, superheroes is kind of like the big thing right now, and yes, there isn't any comedy right now because comedy predominantly operates off the ability to be offended. And you can't offend anyone anymore. So we're in a bit of a predicament with comedy, so it becomes sanitized crap. But it's the point where there are movies which should easily get more push than they do, or certainly get more attention that they do in regards to nominations that just go absolutely nowhere.
Well, I mean, creatively, they can't go anywhere because they put a bunch of rules on themselves, right? So it was making the rounds a couple of days ago on Twitter, like it was new, like it was breaking news. Revealed! Oscar rules require diversity quotas for Best Picture nominees. Gotcha. I believe all of us talked about this when it actually happened 2.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
they're not watching the movies. How are they going to know?
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh. Problematic cover, by the way.
I know that guy. That artist dude, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the artist guy who drank water and breathed air.
Like dogs.
Killed a lot of people. Okay, so this I just wanted to show this real quick. We're not going to go over all the requirements, but just to give you an idea, 30% of all actors must at least 30% of all actors not submitted for Oscar consideration are from at least 2 underrepresented groups, which may include women, because women became an underrepresented group, the majority of the population on planet Earth, who outlive men quite a bit. Racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ+, people with cognitive or physical disabilities, or who are deaf or hard of hearing. What?
Okay.
So these are
Sorry,
what was that?
Come again.
I couldn't hear you. The main storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group. So anytime you see in a television, this goes for TV too, in a movie, you see some out of nowhere, like just woke scene that feels like it's obligatory. It is. It goes, we don't have to show the whole thing. They even mention like previously incarcerated is an underrepresented group. So, hey guys,
What?
I'm part of an underrepresented group in these rules. Yes. I forgot what the term they use. I think, is it previously incarcerated? They try to make it as soft as possible. They don't want to say ex-felons who have committed crimes and go through due process. Yes. Here we go. Lead or significant supporting actors from underrepresented racial or ethnic groups. At least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors submitted for the Oscar consideration is from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. And
why?
Dude, and it says this over and over again in the rules. Well, because they're racist, that's why. This may include African American, Black, African, and or Caribbean descent, East Asian, including Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Mongolian.
Japanese, Chinese, what are these?
Chinese.
Is that what?
That's OF models.
Hispanic or Latina /E/O/X? What the
AEIOU. It's vowels.
Indigenous peoples, including Native American and Alaska Native, Middle Eastern or North African, Pacific Islander, South Asian, including Bangladeshi,
Bhutanese.
Shouldn't this list be way longer if we're including all of everybody from everywhere?
No,
ever?
that's it.
You know, all you have to say is non-white, and it just covered everything.
That's what I said in my video. You would have saved a ton of space on these rules if you go 30% less white on everything. And now that the Oscars haven't changed it, but Hollywood's changing these rules and rolling back the corporations because they might be actually against the law. And they might get sued. And that would be really funny.
What? Wait, you mean discriminating? Absolutely purposely discriminating against people just because you want to see some fucking splatter of chocolate on your screen is actually going to end up being illegal or against the law. Crazy. We don't care how shit it is. We just want some different colors on the screen, even if it doesn't necessarily fit what we're trying to do in the film or where it's set or the period or anything like that. That's why we've got a bunch of fucking black people and Chinese running around in feudal fucking Japan and England right now in all our films. Gotta get that color change.
Is feudal Japan in England?
I said feudal Japan and in England. They're two separate things. Feudal
You
Japan.
didn't say and in
England.
England. You said feudal Japan in England.
There's a
And
mashup.
in England.
Feudal Japan versus England. That would be fun.
Just
That
in
would be
general? What, just in current day?
Yeah.
I tell you guys,
Samurai just come and invade. Fucking...
Why not?
one of my favorite memories in my history class, we were learning about World War II and Pearl Harbor and stuff. And I know, as this will probably be funny as you because you know more about Wales, baby. But someone in my class was just put their hand up, and the teacher was like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, like Japan, I guess they seem pretty strong. They could do a lot of it. Do you think Wales could fight them?" And my teacher was like, "What?" And she was like, "If Wales and Japan got into a fight, who would win?" And like we were young, but the whole class was like, "Oh my god!" The teacher was like, "We would lose."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, do you think? Oh, okay, fair enough."
Oh, we're gonna do hail some fucking sheep at them.
I don't the Welsh fucking arm.
Oh, I don't know about that fucking pointy stick boy off. Oh.
We throw some harsh language.
You do. All right.
Just drown them in phlegm by speaking.
So there's an article from Hollywood Reporter about the Oscars getting it wrong. I don't care about most of this stuff, but I think we can. They don't bring up one of the most egregious things, but if we go down
20 times,
20 times, this is part of the reason people don't watch. By the way, when stuff is like Demi Moore should have won this year, she should have won. She absolutely should have won.
She's so good in the movie.
The Honor performance isn't like that much better. It's like Demi Moore's is better. It's a more interesting movie in my opinion, but that's just me. There's Annette Bening and Glenn Close having never won an Oscar. That doesn't bother me at all. Austin Butler losing. I don't care. Crash beating Brokeback Mountain. I don't care. Well, Crash was fucking terrible. Crash is terrible, and I haven't seen Brokeback Mountain. David Lynch losing Best Director to Ron Howard in 2002. Yeah, that's a good argument. Hoop Dreams. Lego Movie failing to land a nomination for Best Animated Feature. That's crazy. I didn't know that happened. Lego Movie's pretty good.
Yeah, it's fun.
Non-English language winners don't care about people who don't speak English. Just kidding.
Yeah, but there's just they have a non-English. Yeah,
so they have a category. Okay, here we go. Here we go, guys. I've been pissed about this since I was 11 years old. All right. I'm so fucking mad about this one. Chariots of Fire, a bunch of old fucking British dudes with the really high shorts on, running in slow motion to a good soundtrack. Okay.
Vangelis, very good.
Yeah, very good soundtrack. Beating Raiders of the Lost Ark for 1981 Best Picture. It's a fucking crime against imagination. It is.
Yeah, but that in itself is, one of the aforementioned arguments, genre bias.
Yes.
You could say that Chariots of Fire is absolutely an Oscar movie. Remember how things used to get referred to as an Oscar movie, which was essentially a movie made for the Oscar voters as opposed to the viewing public.
The era of Oscar bait as well, when movies looked like they were made just
Milk. Remember Milk?
Yes.
Won Best Picture one year.
Do you remember 7 Pounds? Where the Will
no.
Smith movie is where the movie is just like he decides to give away all of the pieces of his body to different people who need them to live, and the trailer was like him crying and all of it being very dramatic. And I just remember everyone being like, "So they're trying to win an Oscar?" I see. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Or anytime like somebody plays a retard, you're just like Oscar bait.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
are we gonna nominate?
They could just hire us.
I was gonna say we've been trying to get that Oscar for years now.
I grew up with parents who showed me films that get celebrated on Oscar night and babysitters who exposed. I could stop it there, but I won't.
Yeah,
Exposed me. Babysitters who expose me to films. What kind of that become attractions on Halloween horror nights. In 1982, I was a well-rounded, cultured 7-year-old film lover, splitting my TV time between Scooby-Doo and Siskel and Ebert. Our beloved 49ers just won the Super Bowl, and an equally beloved film of mine and yours, Raiders of the Lost Ark, held several Oscar nominations in its fedora. Sure, there was Reds, fucking commie movie, with Warren and Jack, and On Golden Pond, which is legit a good movie, with Kate, Henry, and Jane, but with the synth pop score stale biscuit of a movie called Chariots of Fire, which my parents took me to see, streaked in to steal the Best Picture. My 7-year-old heart broke for the first time. Sure, Raiders won art direction, editing, VFX, and both sound awards, but 7-year-olds just don't dig the boutique categories. You're right. But the problem is it was more than 7-year-olds who like this movie. And does anybody watch Chariots of Fire ever?
I've seen Chariots of Fire,
but
couple
yeah,
of times.
Literally watched it before the show started because I just do that every day.
You do?
It's just one of my
I sit
favorites.
corrected. And then we can talk about Annie Hall beating Star Wars, which is fucking ridiculous. Dark Knight not even being nominated.
There's still one I'm waiting for that hasn't turned up yet.
What's that? Let's see if it turns up.
Fucking Shakespeare in Love beating Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Oof.
That is utterly ridiculous. Selena snubbed. Look, because they're racist. Don't care. The Oscars, perennial snub of Terry Gilliam's film Overture, but especially The Adventures.
I could just go to the.
Who did she lose to? Because I'm assuming
I don't know, but I wouldn't say. I mean, I love that film, but I wouldn't say her performance was Oscar worthy by any stretch.
Did I say Overture?
Does it say who won?
Of where?
Oh, they talk about Angela Bassett as well.
Well, so what? What for fucking Black Panther? Fuck off.
Oh yeah, you remember that? Everyone
Yes.
was like,
Yeah,
whining
stupid
about it.
nomination.
Oscar worthy. It's
Stupid
Oscar
nomination.
Yeah,
Fuck off! It was
it wasn't.
my fucking brown hole.
Ooh.
I don't want to think about that.
The Oscars snubbing Terry Gilliam, which I agree with completely. No Brazil, no Fisher, nothing. Guy was a fucking genius. Is a genius, sorry. Roberto Benigni winning Best Actor in 1999 over what, Tom Hanks? When the hell did that come out?
What was the excuse? Because Tom Hanks has won one before.
Yeah. I agree with this one too. LA Confidential is better than Titanic. Much better. Great movie.
I like it.
But I completely understand why. Titanic should have won. It made $1 gazillion. Girls
I
were.
love the special effects on Titanic are really, really cool.
That's my favorite part, is the boat sinking, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's everybody's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Go iceberg.
Spoilers.
Yeah, whatever.
Fucking spoilers, dude. Fucking
Apocalypse
hell.
Now losing to Kramer versus Kramer. Completely agree with that. Don't care about Tony Colletti. Christopher Nolan snubbed for Best Director again and again and again.
True.
Yep.
I'll absolutely go with that one.
There's a few pictures he should have been nominated for. Michael Keaton losing Best Actor to Eddie Redmayne in 2015. That's a pretty big snub.
True.
Inception losing Best Picture to The King's Speech. I agree with that.
Hey, just how prophetic is fucking Birdman right now?
I know, dude. I know.
Well, you get a lot of people said that about The Substance, that movie's plot line is just what played out in the Oscars.
Yeah, true.
Right? No, they don't mention Shakespeare in Love beating Save It Private Ryan, which is fucking ridiculous.
I don't think anybody watched those two films and went, "Oh, Shakespeare in Love is so much better." Just clearly the winner.
I know. Okay, one of the biggest snubs that nobody's ever going to remember except for me was E.T. winning Best Visual Effects over Blade Runner. It's fucking ridiculous.
I actually legitimately remember watching E.T. in the theater and crying.
Oh, baby, yes.
As wanted the alien to die, but he made it.
I know. I was rooting for Keys, man.
I tell you what, though, I absolutely fucking hate the fact that they've retroactively got rid of some of that stuff. They've changed the guns to walkie-talkies and shit like that.
I think they changed that back. Pretty sure they did.
Have they?
Yeah, but
There is a special
so.
place in the deepest parts of hell for people who tamper with old movies.
Yeah, George Lucas.
At least that one was so well, known that we know how to avoid that shit. But some of these are sneaky. They're like, yeah, it's your favorite movie. I ain't done nothing to it. I'm just like, what have you done, you fucker?
He started it. I'd say.
Well, no, yeah, I despise the changes he made to. Dude, I saw I think it was Sam Witwer said he's 50-50 on whether or not he likes the change of Darth Vader going, no, when he grabs the Emperor. I was like, I fucking hated that change.
It's shockingly bad.
It's horrible. I was like, why the hell would anyone need him to say that? Did you not get what he was feeling from that scene? No,
I didn't.
You could see it all in the look, the back and the forth, the back.
Absolutely.
And the forth.
Even though
That's
it's a
all you
fucking
needed.
mask, you can tell exactly what he feels. You don't need him saying no.
Where did that idea come from? The same people that did fucking Halo.
Ugh.
Well, how can we tell? How can you tell if he's a Motown if he has a helmet?
And that shows their loss of. You're able to on mute characters and characters you can't see the facial expression. You'll see that in a lot of things. Snake Eyes, for example, very popular characters that don't say anything. And part of it is we can imprint our imagination, a personality on that. It's much easier to do that, even with one that's like Chewbacca speaking another language or R2D2. And what we fill in the blanks with our imagination as far as like how that they're trying to push to make you feel a certain way about that character, but you're filling in the blanks on that one. And that's a lost art in Hollywood. That's a lot of Star Wars. A lot of Star Wars, you're filling in the blanks because they don't tell you everything. They show you. like how lived in that world is. And I mean, that's something that used to really work in storytelling. What was that?
They have never made Jabba better than in Return of the Jedi. They've tried many times in games and whatever have you. It's almost sad. The prosthetic for that fucking slug is amazing in that film.
Oh, yeah,
And the
right.
voice. So
Crazy.
good.
Everything, the whole demeanor, the way he behaves. Doesn't speak a single word we understand, and yet we know everything we need to know about Jabba.
Yep.
And like you said, it lost art.
It's a lost art now we need to explain everything because they feel like, now Hollywood is, and it's casual viewing, and they're like, well, everybody's on their phone, so we need to describe what's happening on the screen. And like, if you think we're making this shit up, we're not. That's Netflix has talked about, like, we're going to make stuff for casual viewing. And that's what the streaming movie is. It's the direct to DVD movie that somebody's going to throw on in the background while they're, half checking their phone. And that's going to be a little bit of a problem, and then I guess the biggest takeaway from the Oscars was Sean Baker's speech begging the theater, the producers to have a longer release window in theaters, which I don't know how you roll that back, like once that's already done. But he made an impassioned speech, which was basically, we're fucked if you keep doing this release window of like just 2 months or something like that, and it goes into streaming. I just don't think they're going to go back from that.
Try making movies that people want to see.
That would be helpful.
That'd be a good start.
I think that would be a very good start. But we're getting a long way from that now. A long, long way from that. Okay, so I want to read this fluff piece on Kathleen Kennedy real quick. Could you find that article, MauLer? Throw it in the private chat. Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
It's a long one. And she answers the question like 17 times because they keep asking her, like the interviewer. I don't know if this, like the context of this interview was just in reaction to everyone being so fucking happy at the news. I think that she got upset. She was like, excuse me, I'm not fucking leaving, okay? I'm going to drive this franchise further down into the core of Earth well before you get rid of me.
It takes a lot of fucking spite and hatred to do that.
It really does. And I think this is an insight on how controlling she is. So Chris has talked about this. He put up a video on Film Threat of her speech at some award show. She accepted some award. And she put a bunch of parameters on it, and he explains it. Like before she does anything, she puts a bunch of parameters on stuff, including interviews. So she's very guarded and very controlling. And I think that's what's pretty clear about this one here. I was listening to some of it on EFAT, buddy. Kathleen Kennedy speaks on her Lucasfilm plans. She is not soon retiring, and the films that will keep her in Star Wars orbit for years to come.
Hey, dude, what a difference a week makes.
I know, right? So, and this is an exclusive through Deadline, which is owned by the same company that owns Variety and Hollywood Reporter.
Yes.
Just want to point that out. But Deadline's the one who first, this is why they're doing it on Deadline, because they're the ones who pushed out Matthew Bologna's stuff. I thought I'd seen it all in trade journalism, but the pariah-like frenzy on Kathleen Kennedy and her successor's speculation that followed Matthew Bologna's Puck report that Disney was putting her out to pasture is a new one to me. Bologna for years has been beating on the Kennedy like he owes... Bologna for years has been beating on Kennedy like she owes him money. Okay, not beating off to Kennedy. All right. Okay. And this week, he reported Kennedy was retiring. I recall he essentially did the same thing more than a year ago, which he did. I found the article, the headline, but if you clicked on the headline, it went to the new article. And yet, here she still is, producing the Mandalorian movie and prepping the Sean Levy directed Star Wars film, and that Ryan Gosling is circling, as well as numerous other film and stream projects with A-list participants. So isn't her statement in here? Or the baloney? Did they have the baloney statement in here? X-Ray Girl?
Definitely baloney, all right.
It was. Oh, wow, this is long. But I want to read it in
That's what
contrast.
she said.
Yeah.
There's some
That's
good
Kathleen's
highlights.
statement.
So is this a good highlight right here?
Oh, well, I mean, it's one of my favorite ones. If you Control F chaos and read out
there
the
you go.
question and then her answer. Yeah. So.
All right. The flurry of press coverage. It sounds like chaos. What's the reality? Chaos. There has never been any chaos because we know exactly what the plan is.
It's such a bullshit line.
What?
We know exactly what this like. Okay, I know you have to say this sort of shit, but are we all pretending like you didn't announce Star Wars was going to be a 1 movie per year franchise and it crashed? Like that was the plan, was it?
It's
Yeah.
been going according to plan, MauLer. That's
Yeah,
the way we
sure.
did.
We always thought that we wouldn't have the ability to release a film for at least 6, 7, 8 years
We downright
after the
hoped
last
for it.
one. We always wanted our shows to crumble on fucking streaming services as people's apathy set in and the absolute desire for Star Wars was at an all-time low. That was the plan, weirdos. Own the chuds.
Got him. And we've been talking about it, as I said, and we've been talking about it, as I said, nonstop for the last couple of years. Yeah, you've been talking about what?
They've been talking about what films they're never going to release.
Was it the canceling of a show immediately featuring communist lesbian space witches? I can say it.
Oof.
Was that your plan? So as I said, it's almost a let me be clear moment, which she already did. We've been talking about it nonstop for the last couple of years for obvious reasons. I'm not going to be here forever. George asked me 13 years ago to step in, and now I'm looking at who's going to replace me. And as I said, let me be clear, we have a bench of people internally to handle the business, the creative side. The job has grown also since I have stepped in. There was no streaming. There wasn't a lot of things that we weren't involved in
There's
now.
no fucking films.
So it has grown, except without films.
But it hasn't grown because you got no fucking films. This film franchise is now no longer a film franchise.
Find Imagine. Control F for Imagine. There's a line she has. Yeah, this one. So if you want to read the question and the answer, holy fuck.
Any regrets? No.
I've had a few.
No regrets.
I mean, far from regrets. No regrets. I've loved the challenge of stepping into this space and completely destroying everything George has done. It's been amazing. And literally space and being with Star Wars over these years, taking on the challenges of expanding on Star Wars. I've loved working with Disney and the company, and it's been fantastic in its support of the IP. They've expanded things in ways I don't think George could have even imagined.
Yep.
What?
She's saying like we've pushed Star Wars into places George couldn't even imagine.
Okay, I mean, she's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
I don't think any of us could have imagined the places that they've taken Star Wars, in all honesty.
No.
Such a bold statement, and I think it comes from her being pretty fucking annoyed that the whole context for this is, are you leaving yet? Please?
Yeah. Have you gone yet?
No, I don't think George could have imagined the Acolyte.
No.
I just don't. I think you're right. And it's been such a learning experience. Oh my God. Wow.
If we all made a show about lesbian space witches, I think they would all be very dramatically different from what came out.
On her successor, by the way, a lot of people were discussing between Favreau and Filoni. Feels to me Filoni's way more likely because Favreau probably doesn't want to be tied down permanently to Star Wars. So, well, I mean, Lucasfilm is basically just Star Wars now. It's not like Indiana Jones or Willow are doing fucking anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, feels to me like it's an inevitability that Filoni would be the one to take over, which fucking sucks. Like, it's gonna be another however long before Star Wars even has a hope or a prayer of ever being good. But yeah, that's how it goes.
Another 15 years of Ahsoka.
Yep.
That's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, I can't fucking wait, mate.
Folding them arms all the way to hell.
So, yeah, like, so we got the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is going to be the culmination of 3 seasons of Mandalorian, and that 3rd season really ended well. And then it's going to be part of the Ahsoka story, Boba Fett. So it's going to be the D+ Star Wars cinematic universe, and they're going to fight Thrawn.
Hell yeah.
And then when he
It was
loses,
my plan to constantly lose.
Yeah, when he loses, that's all part of the plan, like Kathleen Kennedy. Everything's going to plan.
Yeah, everything's going to plan. Everything's going to plan. It's all part of the plan.
What's this? What's above this one? He also provided a creative spin of the Bourne Identity. What's that? X-Ray Girl. Scroll up.
It's just question.
Okay. Will you arm twist Tony into doing one of the Star Wars movies after he was the uncredited backstop on Rogue One? Everything going to plan, by the way. On her second damn movie, she had to bring in somebody else. I don't know if I can. I don't think he ever believed he'd be a decade inside Star Wars. He's writing some things on his own, but I think he'd like to come back into the director's chair. So we'll see what he does, but he's such a talent. Just fantastic. Okay. A lot of this is probably just a lot of fluff, just putting up, everything she's accomplished. And this is what we said before. Like, she's going to go on her own terms. She's going to be lauded. She's going to be given flowers and awards. And Star Wars will be dead, and nobody will acknowledge it except for, and anybody who does, it'll be erased off the internet. It'll never be like, if it's acknowledged on like Wikipedia, if that's not a standard, but that's where people still go. It'll be saying, well, there was some fan backlash, but that was relegated to white supremacy and racism. It'll still just be that, instead of just acknowledging that you have this massive problem and it's Kathleen Kennedy. And
so this is how Kathleen Kennedy's tenure ends, with rapturous applause.
As was said, she gives several answers. At first, she blocks even the notion that she's leaving, but then she eventually says they've been talking about it for years.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to figure out who's going to take over. And it's like, well, wait, I thought it wasn't happening. And then she says, and when it happens, I will be, fostering them in. I'm going to mentor whoever it is that takes over. And I'm not going to be, she says something like, I will stop being a part of movie making when I am dead.
So it's going to be kind of like Amy Pascal, who was forced out of Sony as CEO because of the Sony leaks, which were wonderful. But then she put herself in charge of Spider-Man for a while. So she was part of the production company of Spider-Man. So she's still around, right?
Yeah, she turned into a fucking crackhead or something by the looks of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
By the way, another former secretary. And it's the same's going to be with Kathleen Kennedy. So she'll step down. And who was it? Is it Disbrew who asked if it's going to be another Bob Iger situation with Chapek? It could be. It could be.
You bring in just a full guy and then be like, I'm back, everyone, here to fix Star Wars because they ruined it.
But she basically confirms what Bologna said, which was they're looking for a replacement. She's going to be out later this year. But I don't think he ever said she's done with filmmaking forever. So she's just parsing words. So she'll still be a producer. She'll still be involved. Will she be in charge of Lucasfilm? Who gives a fuck at this point? Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Because whoever comes in, Dave Filoni, didn't she say in that article that they're probably going to, it'll probably be like Saffron and Gunn. She didn't mention them by name, but there'll be like a creative side and then somebody who handles administration. That's probably what's going to happen.
Dude, we haven't even seen them fucking perform yet.
It's kind of. I think the worst thing about this is, as you can't change the "is she gone or is she queer" thing for another at least a year.
No,
I know.
No, no, it's back to being queer again.
I'm kind of happy that's not retired, but I am.
It's very apt.
I
It's
want
just
her to
very
see
apt.
it. I want her to
I
see
will
it
say,
through.
It's amazing how long it's been relevant. That fucking clip. It's like,
And I made it
nobody-
4 years
nobody-
ago.
Nobody would guess if they've been a new fan within the past 4 years that that's how long ago it was made.
Does Mandalorian and Grogu like do better than
Ugh.
Cap 4?
Ooh.
Yes.
You think so?
I don't
Baby
know.
Yoda alone.
I've said
think
before, I got no,
similar-ish.
I got no clue. I don't know what kind of numbers a Mandalorian Grogu movie pulls. I have no idea.
Well, to be honest, mate, what does a Star Wars movie pull at the cinema now? We haven't seen one
That's the
in
thing, yeah.
so many years.
If Episode 10's trailer dropped and it was like all the same shit as Force Awakens, but it's with Rey being the main character, making a new, Jedi temple with a bunch of blah blah, and then it was like a score that's relatively familiar, just fucking copycatted John Williams, and then I was just like, would people get hyped for that, or would they be like, nah. The stain of the sequels is clearly still there, right?
We could probably cobble together an idea about what an episode 10 trailer would look like.
Yeah, I think it would look a lot like the TFA one.
Yeah, it'd be main character Rey, let's say Rey, planet bright, upbeat, bad guys.
A comment about how things have been settled and happy
Yeah,
somewhat.
yeah,
but
bad
there's
guys come in,
rumbling.
stuff's
There's rumbling.
destroyed. Ray's lightsabers
Yeah.
out, lightsabers come out.
No, there's
girls,
a
girls,
reveal.
girls.
Yeah, there's
No
a
men.
reveal. Like we get a shot of space, and then, what they'll do is they'll be really different this time. Is they'll have a black woman take off her stormtrooper outfit because they're going to bring back the stormtroopers.
They bring back Phasma.
Phasma is back.
She's black
Somehow
now.
Phasma
She's
returns.
black.
She's plasma.
And it says all the men have been killed off in the galaxy.
An unprecedented peace.
Yeah. Since the destruction of all man, there's been unprecedented peace. But now the man rises up again to attack the woman.
There's one
there was
man
there was
left, and they have to find
One
him and
guy
kill him.
who was frozen in carbonite has been released, and the whole world is like, no.
Just go around fucking everyone.
No, he's like the Big Lebowski or something. He's just, like that level of character. It's just like, hey,
That's like your opinion, Ray.
The heir to the patriarchy. That's what it should be called.
it would like I have no idea. It would be kind of nice if it did crash miserably. That would be neat, but we'll see.
Did Kylo Ren win a single fucking fight?
No.
No.
Loser.
We can't say force Skype. Remember we said they force Skyped in that movie, but
Yes.
Skype is dead now. So
No.
Oh.
They forced StreamYards.
Force
Yes.
teams?
if they force
Full
StreamYards,
soon.
If
Full
they-
soon.
if they force StreamYards, their audio would be fucked up. What did you say? Oh,
Skype.
I think that Daisy Ridley movie's. Well, no, I sit corrected. I've seen the
Skype
cleaner.
is shutting down on May 5th. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
May 5th. Skype is gone.
It's
so
sad.
It's the end of an era. Bye, Skype. I remember you vaguely.
I do like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
There truly was a time.
No, I think that Ray movie's kind of dead at this point. I hope it's not, but I think it's kind of dead.
Do you see the Robert Pattinson quote today?
I did not. What was it?
He was just like, I hope we fucking start filming soon for the Batman 2 because it started off with a young Bruce Wayne, and by the time we film this, it's going to be old fucking Bruce Wayne.
Oh, really?
So we've talked about this. Batman 2's health is dependent on Superman's health,
Correct.
obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
But something interesting happened, and I can grab. There's 3 screenshots of the slate for IMAX titles coming. Here's a link to it if you want to get it on the screen. First slate is 2025, second is 2026, and the third is 2027, which lists the Batman 2. I find that curious. First of all, just accepting that information that the Batman 2 will be coming out in 2027, you know, it's just like, damn. But of course, the second it starts filming, that puts it into the much more likely to release category. I'm sure everyone agrees. But at the same time, I think it was noted in this thread, there's no Spider-Man on this slate. So I don't know how reliable IMAX slates are. This is the 2025 image. There's one for each year. Obviously, these ones are all like sure things. These ones, I assume, are mostly sure, even though it says Untitled Alejandro Inarritu starring Tom Cruise. But yeah, it's just interesting. People are using this as sort of evidence. Like, well, so the Batman 2 is happening then. It's like, if you go to the next picture, see the Batman 2.
Oh, in 2027.
Yeah.
And Robert Pattinson will be how old? Is he in his 40s?
In 2027 or 2025 when they hopefully film it. Like in October,
okay.
right? Or something.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is. How old is
What's he now? About 30?
Pushed through the Batman. He should have been like, get going immediately, get the Batman 2 out. Let's see if it's successful. If it's not, we crash it. We just get rid of that continuity and we'll start up my own. If it's really good, we'll get you a third movie and maybe, I don't know, Penguin season 2 or whatever, and just let that play out and end it, right? A trilogy of Batmans? Sure. And then once it's over, you can introduce your own Batman and your own. But now we're in this fucking horrible limbo where we're pushing the Batman 2 all the way to 2027. When by then, what? Supergirl will be out by then, right?
Yes.
Well, if Superman is successful, this film's never getting made.
That seems to be the case, yeah.
Yeah.
If Superman is not successful, then the likelihood this movie gets made goes up.
It doesn't seem like a very streamlined process, doesn't it? It doesn't seem that different from Zack Snyder's DCEU at this point.
It's retarded. It's
Yeah.
fucking retarded.
No, yeah. I saw someone, where's the comment? It says, it's something like we're getting, because I assume you guys have heard about this, we're getting Clayface, Bane, Deathstroke, and Swamp Thing, and all these. It's like, we haven't got Batman, because none of these are in Batman's universe, or Wonder Woman, no. And you're just like, wait, but if all this lays out, because I've heard the counter that it's like, well, you know, it's set in the ground in all different places, creating a universe, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, that ain't foundations. That's just random shit.
It is really random. And then, like, the foundation of what they are creating, MauLer, it's like, okay, like you just pointed out, we got Bane, we got Deathstroke, we got Clayface, we got Supergirl, but we're going to put Green Lantern on TV. And that's going to be
apparently
part
I sound like shit, by the way. Do you guys hear me?
I hear you for just
Yeah, you sound great.
Yeah.
I guess it's not my end then.
No, maybe it's coming through YouTube. It sounds good to us.
Apparently it's lagging.
It's lagging. There we go. Maybe it lags less now.
I hope so. Guys, it's like a week and a half until I get fiber.
Lucky duck. I want fiber so bad.
Well, fiber helps, but you still need a good browser. You know, Jesus.
Going 30 times a faster speed than I currently have. 30 times.
Brum brum.
I'm finally going to be able to upload stuff and download stuff in a reasonable amount of time. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently it is YouTube. Is YouTube just dying in general?
Just like another, Patterson is the same age that Keaton was when he made Batman in '89.
I mean, he he could play. Let's say they did make a trilogy, which, by the way, I feel bad because I don't even know if chat can even hear anything I'm saying right now. But hopefully the re-upload is okay, I guess. In any case, he could probably get away with playing Batman in a trilogy of the Batmans for the next 15, 20 years. The guy is clearly able to look younger than he comes across, right? That's not.
I don't think he looks 38.
I would just read between the lines of a lot of these statements, such as he's not given in a script yet. A lot of people saying, weird. You'd think he would have finished the script. Why isn't he finishing the script? Man, he's taking ages of this script. It's like, we already had word that he gave it a script. They didn't like it. They want changes. He hasn't made them yet. That's like the easiest understandable thing ever. There's probably a bit of a power struggle over Batman. As much as you'd say James Gunn has all the leverage, be like, well, Reeves has some leverage. He created a film that did somewhat successfully. They've got the Penguin. They could probably have negotiations of some kind, and it's just reasonable to assume it's all down to Superman.
Yes,
I think you're right. I really think you're right. There is so much riding on this Superman thing. I don't know if you saw the interview with Gunn where he said something along the lines of, I was a bit disappointed that my picture with Zack Snyder didn't break the internet. I was trying to troll the internet with that picture.
That was cringe.
It was cringe, but he also kind of said to me, A, how fucking stupid he is, and B, this kind of sense of self-importance when nobody gave a fuck, which is what he should be more concerned about, which is the absolute lack of apathy towards what's going on here. There isn't any hype surrounding this Superman film. I know that when the trailer dropped, there's a couple of people like, yeah, this looks great. It looked okay. I said it looked okay. I wouldn't say any more than that. But there's just been no sort of organic momentum going forward with it. It's kind of like, there's that. And it seems you just sunk right back down again. There's not a lot of time, and it's only 4 months until this thing comes out. And it's coming out in a very, very tough month.
Yes. After a slow start for theaters, like they're struggling right now. Like if we go even back to the last quarter, there were a couple of hits towards Christmas, but it was still down on Christmas. And this has been the slowest box office since like COVID in this first 2 years, the survive until 25. So the momentum is going to be down. But yeah, then it gets all piled into 1 month. FF and Superman.
Next week, Jurassic Park. Week after, Fantastic Four.
And I think we all in agreement that Jurassic Park could beat both those movies.
Both of them.
Oh yeah, dude.
Potentially, yeah.
Like for anyone who doesn't know, the Jurassic franchise is a fucking money printer. It is actually like healthy. Obviously, it's not as much as it could be if they were fucking good films, but it doesn't matter. The general public love their dinosaurs.
The thing with like the Transformers and Jurassic Park is they have a good international audience, which really props up. There's certain countries which they just kind of pop at. China just used to go fucking crazy for those Transformer movies. So even though they would be significantly underperforming in terms of the domestic box office, their international would really, really prop it up. Nobody, when it comes to Marvel, the domestic and international tends to be pretty much the same. There's not a lot of fluctuation on that, which is concerning because that's a trend that one goes down, pretty much the other one's going to go down with it. And that's not necessarily the case when it comes to Jurassic Park or Transformers or whatever it may be.
Yeah, you're right. And then there's the balancing act of they kind of Hollywood really went all in, especially a few years ago, on international because it looks good to the stockbrokers. But as I broke down in my Captain America video and everybody else has, you see how much they actually take home from the international market, and it pretty much equals what they still take home domestically, even if that number is a little bit smaller because they take a bigger, obviously a bigger percentage domestically. So it still matters what they do here. A movie making $1 billion, but it's weighted to international, doesn't mean they took us home as much as money. It was still really good to take back to the investors and go, look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. But they know the reality of it, which is, we're still not making as much money as we were. And how do you roll these things back? Because that's what they have to do. I think that was part of the message from the Oscars was giving Honora this truly independent film, that cost $6 million to make, by the way. $6 million to make. And it made like 42 million.
Good return.
But how does a super corporate Hollywood contract and roll things back? It's going to be through attrition. They'll lay off people, but they're also going to be a lot of things closing down. You don't have to pull up the article, but my former employer, Technicolor, it looks like it's done. And that thing's been around Hollywood forever. I think you all have seen Technicolor. It's a Technicolor picture. They're a post house, and the need for post houses are just, it's probably going to die like pretty much overnight. And they're going to go back to smaller places, which they wiped out in the mid 2000s. If you remember, like the Orphanage was an offshoot of Lucasfilm and stuff. So they wiped all those out with these big corporate post houses, which are now going to be shut down because you don't need them, because you don't need as many people very quickly because of AI. And they have internal AIs that they've been working on forever. And a lot of people are going to be out of work for that. But how do you roll this back? I don't know. Captain America 4 is a flop, guys. It's a flop. It's a flop.
No fucking way.
Why would you lie like that?
Yeah, you fucking bigot.
I know. If we just go off of what we like their numbers, it's still going to flop. And those numbers are complete bullshit, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Complete bullshit. You cannot tell me a movie that was shot twice is the cheapest movie Marvel's made since Endgame.
No.
I'm just not going to believe that.
Shot twice, shot 2 and a bit times over the course of over the course of a year and a half of filming, from March 2003 through to end of November 2024. Just constantly going back, reshooting, setting targets, setting dates for refilming, going back, reshooting. They'd even scheduled the reshoots for the first fucking when they had announced the first lot of filming. They'd already actually booked in reshoots, not pickups, reshoots. So they're already working off the assumption that the film was going to need fiddling. And then they went back to they looked at it, they put that film together. That film internally went down like a lead balloon. Then they said, okay, we're going to start filming again. Going to do some considerable reshoots, which, from what I can gather from my chocolate sauce and my tomato sauce, they're essentially redoing all of the major set pieces of the film, plus bringing in Giancarlo Espinosa as well.
Esposito. But
Espinosa.
Just say Gus Fring.
Who's that?
The
Gus.
easiest way to do
Gus
it.
Fring. Just say Giancarlo, because when you say Giancarlo, it's just like, oh yeah. Because he's just in everything doing the same thing. So, and then they were reshooting that. The leader, and then Anthony Mackie comes out and says, "Oh, these aren't the big reshoots that they said there were. This is just tightening up a little bit of story." Then the guy who's playing the leader comes out and says, "No, they've basically redone my whole character in this film."
Dude, his screaming scene was so funny.
And then, you can't tell. You know when he goes to that house and kills the two people, kills the husband and the wife. That has got to have been a story. There got to have been characters that were in the first.
Yes.
Yeah, no. When we were breaking the film down, we weren't 100% clear on what the fuck that was. It was. And then of course the funniest. I feel like it didn't get enough attention for just how stupid it was. It's the first time in the MCU where the villain just says, my plans run out. I give up.
Yes.
Yeah, but it didn't. That was the weirdest thing, because the guy was just like, I need my revenge on Harrison Ford, because he said if I did this shit for him, I would be freed. He would pardon me and free me. So he goes and gets his revenge. And instead of enjoying his freedom, goes, "Yeah, I'll be captured again now."
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense at all. It's completely fucked. Because he needs to tell Sam about the Illuminumi.
But he could send him a fucking Skype message before
not anymore. Down before it shuts down. Yeah.
The Illuma whaty?
The Say that again.
The Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Dude, I wish they had just made it so vague that his last scene is just Sam. Stuff is going to happen.
That's pretty much
like,
actually what he
whoa,
said.
dude.
So, you know. Sam, no, if it just says Sam, there's going to be another film.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Captain America will return.
No, he won't.
In stuff and things.
And stuff
Yeah,
and things.
In other things, maybe. Don't hold us to this.
Oh God.
Well, yeah, it's on worldwide box office is currently 341 million. Worldwide box office. 3 weekends in now.
But I thought a 425 break-even point. And according to Games
no.
Radar, it's already made its budget back.
No. Even if like you said, even if you play their stupid retarded game of it has $180 million budget, double that, 360 million, then add marketing on, at least let's say at least 100 million. So that would go to what was it, 180, 360, 460, 460 million to break even with their retarded, stupid fucking retardedness. It's still 120 million off that.
Yep.
Even with this retarded, stupid fucking retardedness?
Even with the stupid fucking retardedness of what they're trying to do, there's still 120 million behind breaking even.
Yep.
Well.
Even though at 341 million, they haven't even made their fucking production budget back yet.
No. The real number.
Which is somewhere around 380, possibly a little bit higher, but somewhere around 380.
And, again, we'll never know because it was shot in America, but any movie that's shot in the UK, we find out that Disney floats out a number around 200 million, and it comes up being anywhere between 100 to $200 million more than that. Across the board, not just Marvel movies. We'll find that up about Snow White as well. They're going to come out and say Snow White had a $200 million budget, even though it's been reshot to hell and retooled to hell. And that's coming up right around the corner. Oh, theaters, you're going to be hurting for a while, man. Poor movie theaters.
Dude, they can lie as much as they want. they can do that as much as they want. It's not going to stop it from not being true.
Yep.
You can lie all you want. You're still losing those hundreds upon hundreds of millions. That remember, dude. I thought I was low. I actually thought, am I being too low here? When I said I predict it's going to do between 550 to 650 million. And then when that first weekend came in, I said, no, I'm revising this to 450. And even then, I'm just like, I fucking highballed that as well.
Yeah.
This is going to struggle to hit 400.
I was feeling pretty good about 550 worldwide on this one.
Yeah, I thought it would do that. I thought it would do that.
Wrong.
Nah.
Not even close.
We didn't take into consideration the fact nobody gives a fuck about a Captain America movie without a Captain America in it.
I know. That's kind of the key right there. Is next time you do a Captain America movie, maybe try putting Captain America in it.
Seriously, like, if it was Steve Rogers' Captain America, but everything else was the same,
It's still
do
pretty
you think
bad.
this movie would be successful?
Oh, it's still a terrible
No,
movie.
it's still a terrible movie. But
That's what I'm thinking. Is like,
does it
I
make
feel
a
like
few
with this
more
day and
bucks?
age-
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it probably makes more money, but like how much more? I don't even know that it would actually be successful.
Maybe there it gets to the 550.
Oh, that's we're gonna find out real soon. Well, not real soon. Next year when that Avengers movie comes out.
I assume all of us think Avengers will make a profit.
Oh God, yes.
I mean,
Even though I have no idea who the Avengers are right now.
But do you see those leaks?
Yes, I did, which are apparently, again, they're just concept art, but some of them are real.
Oh, we know. Yeah, that's how concept art works, right? Plenty of it gets trashed in terms of finals, but it shows you a sense of what they're intending. And I love the fact that, like, front and center is the fucking Young Avengers being like, yeah, we're going to get them in. It's like, guys, seriously. You need to focus, okay?
The website was taken down, but I think it's what's the site? Marvel Updates or something like that on Twitter has them. and there's one of the Young Avengers. There's one of what looks like
Oh, I'm seeing them now with Star-Lord.
a
Yes,
Planet
who-
Hulk.
Well, there's one with Star-Lord on a sofa with
Vision.
I don't know if that means he'll be in the Vision show.
I
But we do know-
do not think so.
Star-Lord is one of the only, arguably, OGs that has been like absolutely confirmed to return by by text. A lot of them have not gotten that, so it makes you wonder, because he was asked if he's coming back, and he was like, "We'll make good on the promise that he's coming back." So I wouldn't be surprised if they said, "Do you mind if we use you for a lot of stuff?" And he was like, "Go for it," because he likes playing Star-Lord.
What do you think they use him as, like the recruiter?
Could
the
be.
new
Do you
Avengers?
know, I think they use him as probably the main likable focal point.
They
It wouldn't be a
should.
bad idea
No.
to use him. Yeah.
Because I think he's the only one that people, Chris Pratt's the only one people fucking like.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I haven't heard a thing about him being in Vision, but it could be like a post-credit scene, maybe.
It could be in Avengers for all we know, right? It's
Yeah.
going to be a complete fucking chaotic mess of a million scenes from across all dimensions. So, and the Russos have already confirmed it'll be over 3 hours. It's like, great. Fucking-
Oh, fuck off, Roos. Come on.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, well, you know what? Even if they didn't have a bloated mess to shove into the screen, they probably want it to be that so that people get the sense of like, oh boy, this is going to be an incredible, epic film. But it's like, no, it won't. No, it won't. Oh
Do
yeah,
you
no
want
word
to
on
see Bart?
Thor, by the way. Hemsworth's Thor is just fucking, just not around. I do wonder if he's just said he's not interested outright.
I think they're probably in talks, but if they're not going to thrash out the deal he wants,
just-
there's no
Look how
need
much
for him
damage
to come back.
Love and Thunder did. Like, you've lost one of your most significant stars, main characters, and fucking everyone hated that movie. And that's the movie, I think, that changed a lot of how the sentiment on Marvel functions online, where the hype train lasts for like a month. That one lasted like days before everyone was like, holy fuck, this was the worst shit. Because that was after MOM, right?
Sorry, which one?
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder was after, yes.
Yeah, so because it's just interesting to track how things have gone. Because even Captain Falcon's rep like died pretty quickly. It didn't even struggle. It didn't really get up there anyway. Other than like the usual outlets just being like, oh, it's gonna be successful. Red Hulk was so cool. Harrison Ford was so angry. Hey Gary, did you see that someone suggested Stephen Lang as Ross would have been way better?
Oh yeah, I think so.
And I was just like, man, that actually would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because he probably would have nailed that role.
Yep.
You know, Ford just didn't give a fuck, which is fine. I didn't expect anything else.
And now Harrison Ford is Ross, and yeah.
Well, he's probably done.
Which they clearly intended, by the way. If you look at the reshoots, I assume you guys know this as well. They were going to kill him, but I guess they decided to keep him alive. The only other reason I can imagine is to maybe bring back Red Hulk whenever they want or something. I don't know.
So you think that funeral was going to be Ross's?
I saw someone break it down. We did an EFAP on it where they like look at all the people attending and what the honors of the funeral are, and the fact that there's like gunmen, you know, like the salute sort of thing with that. And I think the only person who could possibly make sense would have been Ross, because his daughter's there as well.
X-Ray Girl.
That got erased, and they reshot that ending where he's like, "Hey, honey, remember the blossoms?"
Remember the pedestrians?
Beaten by a flower at the end. That was amazing. So
don't be a dick. You know, he got the don't be a dick treatment.
Yeah.
Just like Ant-Man.
Just like Ant-Man. So here's some of the concept that there's actually more, but yeah, we got Star-Lord with Vision. We've got I think what made a lot of people think this was fake is a grown-up T'Challa. If you remember, for T'Challa Jr., by the way, that he had a secret kid in Wakanda Forever who they need to age up. If Doctor Doom looks like that, great. That's great.
You probably won't though.
There's Scar and She-Hulk, and it looks like a Planet Hulk kind of thing, but you couldn't do that right now. And then there's the Young Avengers. The Young Avengers. One of them,
fuck that noise.
Wiccan, who was set up in Agatha, one of the lowest rated D+ shows for Marvel.
Dude, it's just a fun game to I just want to take all the people who hype a shell for Marvel and just be like, name those characters in that room right now. Do it. And they'd be like,
hold on, we've got to open up Wikipedia.
Yeah. They're all my favorites.
They're all the
I mean, I tell you what though, that actually looks like a Black Panther from the comics back in the day.
Yeah.
Seriously, well, you guys know how this works. Don't trust concept art.
Oh, I know.
You know, like this is made by artists who give a shit.
Yeah,
like,
concept art is usually really good, and the final product is not. Yeah.
Oh, wait. In the Young Avengers picture, who's that in the front and the left?
Wong.
It's Wong.
Everyone's favorite.
He's in everything.
The Sorcerer Supreme.
No.
It was Wong all
along.
Something
Oh, that
wrong.
rhymes.
It was Wong all along.
There's Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme. Jesus. And they wonder why they have problems. The art looks good. Got no complaints about the art.
Fucking should. They paid $1 billion to make these things, and they're supposed to be proofs of like storytelling. This is what I mean. Like, this to me, the main thing we're taking away from this is just some story ideas they clearly have. So it's like crazy multiverse crap and a whole bunch of slamming a billion characters together. It's like, what is, I don't even know, like She-Hulk, I guess they're actually considering bringing her back, but they're going to try and make her less cringe, I guess, which is probably the way to go. You know, doing evil Doctor Strange, evil world where God Emperor Doom is doing things. It's just like there's a cool factor that they're probably gonna have to rely on, because I've seen people say simultaneously, wow, it's so cool that the Russos are adapting that sort of stuff, and then simultaneously be like, no, it's awful, there's loads of story that they're completely skipping just to get to the payoff of having a bunch of evil characters, which we've done before, doesn't work. Just randomly showing up to a bunch of these and be like, look, they're evil, lol. Sheriff Strange, right?
Yep.
And it's also would say like Benedict Cumberbatch will be playing Sheriff Strange. It's like, well, yeah. Like, it would be fucking weird if they had him. You just put him in a different costume and just film one scene. Yeah, probably.
It would be. But I've actually seen some more. I guess there is more out there, and
yeah, there's another page of this.
Yeah, I don't know if you can find it.
I found some images, but not a lot, like compiled together.
Good old Reddit, retard it. Good old retard it. They love us. They
don't like anyone. Reddit sucks.
No, and it's the royalists.
Oh, female Vision. I mean, female Ultron.
Yeah.
Femtron.
Hang on.
Can it be like the fembots in Austin Powers and shoot from their nippies?
From the data bags.
Talk for just a second.
You say from their data bags?
Is that where the data is?
Data.
What if a data leak happens on the fembots?
Just milk.
You gotta put your USB into a data bag. So that's how it works.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I got a little message. Somebody's watching. Hello, Jacosta. In the comics. She's in the comics. All right. So that's comic accurate.
Ooh, I actually really like the background here.
Jacosta.
See that?
Yeah, that's what that Panther thing was in the end of Civil War. Do you remember that? And it was like, oh,
was it?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does. Yeah, it was the big sort of like selling point of like Black Panther's on the way. I don't fucking remember Black Panther ever being that cool in his movie. It sucks.
So go back to Jacosta real quick.
Statue should come alive and kill everyone.
Go back to Jacosta, which, yes, is female Ultron that he builds. But it is from the comic books. She is going to be in Vision, the Vision show, because Ultron's coming back with James Spader.
Yay.
Oh, Spader. Oh, it's kind of like Spader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be using this show to kind of.
What's he gonna do? Is he gonna come back and go, feeling a little more friendly to me now, are you?
Yeah. So, they're gonna try to reboot not reboot, but that's not the right term. Bring back some old bad guys that they probably never should have gotten rid of. So we'll see. And then there's I don't know how they explained aging up T'Challa. He could have fallen through an incursion and come back 10 years older. Yeah, come back 10 years older.
It says here as a variant, so
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you got to understand, Gary, because you didn't watch Arcane season 2 and you never, ever, ever, ever should. About 4 different characters, if not more, at certain points in the plot, just fall into a multiversal portal thing and then come back, and they're completely changed characters who want and do completely different things. And the plot was just like, yeah, whatever needed to happen wherever they went happened to make them that person. And it's like, that's satisfying. Like, thank you so much. We don't need to see all of that shit. That's boring. That's who wants to watch an arc? Instead, they just come out like however you want them to be. So I picture that's going to be happening a bit in this movie. I've heard the thing of like Doctor Doom will be searching for his like evil Avengers and grabbing up a whole bunch of notoriously evil versions of heroes, and then the heroes will probably do the same thing, and then a big fight will happen.
Oh,
it's gonna be slop mania.
Oh.
And then like the big question is like, does Doctor Doom just go away, or do they recast Doctor Doom, or do they keep RDJ as this really old version of Doctor Doom?
Surely RDJ's done after this. This will be his like, I got my money, and they're not going to want to do this deal again, because I don't know that this is going to do shit for the Marvel Universe, ultimately. They'll make their money, and it'll be a big spectacle, but it'll be like the last hurrah, isn't it? This is spending every last point they have. I'm assuming Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, and fucking Deadpool are going to end this bullshit. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man will show up. Yep. Andrew Garfield probably will too.
Yep.
Everyone will just be here. This will be the unironic, like, this is the end game, excusing the phrasing, of the MCU, the universe. This is where it all ends up.
Well, I mean, it has to be, because they're going to want to put the Fantastic Four in the same universe as the X-Men, who have not been introduced yet.
You've seen Fortnite, right? Like even clips where it's just, oh look, it's Alien fighting Darth Vader while Godzilla fires a laser at them. It's just like, what the fuck is this? It's like, it's called a cultural soup, is what it is. It's just everything is together. It's all homogenized crap, and you will enjoy it.
Oh, it's Ready Player One. It's going to turn into Ready Player One.
Yeah, that's another good example.
Yeah.
At least that is on its face,
Yes, exactly. It'll just be Marvel's version. We'll see Lou Ferrigno Hulk. I think they'll bring every possible character back. Wesley Snipes will come back.
Well, you know what's funny is they'll do everything, and then they'll be in the editing room, and they'll be like, out of the 1 million clips we have, which 200,000 are going in the movie?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, we got to look at the statistics. All the army of bean counters. Who do people like right now? And it's like, people like Deadpool. Put him in. And then the Ryan Reynolds stuff happens. They go, no, people don't like him. Pull him out.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, no.
Do people like Captain Falcon? Yeah, of course. Oh, no. They don't like him. Get him out.
They'll run it through the analytics.
Yeah, and it'll be a great film.
I like how the Russos did come out and say, this film might kill us.
Wow.
And again, it's not dumb that they bring them back. It's not like the RDJ thing they needed to make a splash, but ultimately, where do you go after that? And we all know it's going to be they should do a hard reboot, but they're going to do a soft reboot. They're going to carry over some characters. How do you get away from Captain Black America Falcon at this point? Clear failure, rejected, but you have to go forward with it. You can't.
At least in some way. What's funny about that, right? And Captain Marvel getting 2 films, and She-Hulk getting like a extensive big budget show and stuff. I was just thinking, I saw someone say like, will Deadpool be in the Avengers? Daredevil be in the Avengers film? And I was like, fucking hell! Like Daredevil has to do all of this, like earning the right to appear in this stupid fucking movie, while all these awful characters get given 1 million chances and then nobody likes them. And then, of course, I'm at the point of being like, it's like, you advocate he should be in the Avengers film? I'm like, no, I don't think he should, actually. Keep him the fuck away. At least, in his own show, we have a chance of Daredevil being fucking awesome. But if he's just in sludge land, just like what benefit is there to having him standing next to all the other heroes, just going like, yeah,
they're not heroes.
It's
Please,
heroes.
can we stop?
Quotation marks,
Not
all right?
heroes. There's nothing
Whenever you
fucking
say that,
heroic.
Picture Dr. Evil doing his air quotes.
Heroes. No, that's when I heard Daredevil wasn't going to be in Avengers, I'm all good.
Yeah, why the fuck? You know, like reasonably speaking, too, we're dealing with like hyper gods all over the place. What's he gonna do? You just be like, you guys, you go ahead. I'm gonna go be a Kingpin. Here I go.
Remember when She-Hulk said that she has it tougher because she's a woman?
I remember.
She's always angry.
Yeah, and he could never understand.
Yeah.
And the army of people trying to defend that fucking bullshit too. You know, she's right, actually.
No.
To get her to change into She-Hulk, all you have to do is say, "Make me a sandwich."
Well, that is true oppression. Meanwhile, you know, like the whole history of Bruce Banner, and you don't even need to appeal to the comics. They have plenty of mentions of it in his own movie and in Avengers, of the shit that he's been through. And it's just like, that's child's play, Bruce. Have you ever been catcalled? It's like, you know what? You're right.
It's gonna make all the money and it's gonna fix nothing. And God, I hope the Young Avengers aren't in it. That's such a bad
it'll
move.
make Rise of Skywalker money, and then the follow-up will make less, right? It'll categorically make less.
Right now, honestly, I can't say with certainty I think it's going to do $1 billion.
I think it will.
I think it will.
This is
Could
the
be
thing.
wrong.
I don't know.
The Avengers brand has not. That's one they've kept in the chest. They've not used it yet.
There's
but
no
once it's
fucking
done-
Avenger.
No,
I know.
this is. Remember, the public are different from the autists like us who dig into all this stuff. I think there will be a bit of lizard brain activation when it's like the Avengers, the next film. Well, you haven't had one since Endgame. It's like, oh yeah, that's kind of true. And then if they can trailer it enough, you know, like how the Marvels was like, look, it's Iron Man, look, it's Captain America, look, it's Thanos. They're gonna do shit like that, but this time they'll actually have these actors in the movie, you know. And then some people will be like, you know, may as well go see it. And I think that when they go see it and it's absolute shit, they'll be like, oh, so Avengers is shit too. There's nothing left in the MCU, just nothing. Of course, up to that point, it depends on if Fantastic Four manages to take its first steps successfully. I don't think so, though. I don't know. Not with their track record.
Have a concept art for one of the characters.
Oh shit!
Silver Surf her.
Female Silver Surf her. Terrible. Fucking terrible. What a dumb move. You have a chance to adapt one of the greatest comic stories ever, and you do this. It just shows like it's hard to believe they want to turn things around with stupid decisions like this, even if they kill her off later and bring back Norrin Rad because this is part of a different universe. It's just, it cheapens it. It absolutely cheapens it. We'll see how they deal with Galactus. And he's starting out with Galactus is not a smart move.
I mean, he should be the big bad.
Yes.
So.
Just for the record, by the way, I don't want it to make $1 billion. It would be nice if it crashed immediately. I just don't. I think they need to squeeze out that last bit of juice, and then it'll start crashing for everything Avengers related. You know, and judging by the Russos' track record, the first one will be slightly more coherent than the second one. If they do the similar sort of back to back.
I don't think any of this has been coherent since the beginning of Phase 4. None of it. I know it's the Russos weren't, you know, part of Phase 4.
Hey, you like Deadpool and Wolverine, all right?
No, I like Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't think, like, but as I keep stressing, I don't think it's got fuck all to do with the Marvel Universe in terms of trying to play into it and unite everything.
They will drag those characters into this movie.
I absolutely agree. I agree, and I love the film. I absolutely love the film. I've seen it multiple times. I fucking love it. But I did say I agree with you on one thing. I do think they're going to learn all the wrong lessons from this film. and they're literally just going to start dragging them out into everything, going, "Hey, look, it's that thing you like," instead of the forward thing. There hasn't been any cohesion with Phase 4. There was no cohesion with Phase 5. People are so even fucking Deadpool joked. Can we just stop with the fucking multiverse, please?
That multiverse film.
Can we just stop? And then that's it. The next Avengers film is this multiverse fucking variant crap fucker shite that everyone's just so fucking bored of. Where does it go after that? Okay, they're gonna fight RDJ's Doctor Doom. Having Doctor Doom's cool. You know what would have been cooler? Probably having Doctor Doom as the main villain for the Fantastic Four movie instead of Galactus. That would have probably been a bit cool.
You'll get that in Fantastic Four second steps. And
then we get Fantastic Four 12 steps.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Data time. I mean, progress, not perfection, but dude, there's been very little progress in this.
Yeah. We'll find out in June or July. Is it July? It's July.
July, yeah.
July. That's going to be a big month.
So we're going to have multiverse shit here, and then it's leading into the bigger multiverse shit era.
Yes. Well, Fantastic Four will at least be a little like its own universe. It'll be the end that gets all multiversey. Maybe even just the post-credits, but that's still... It'll probably be the end, because the Fantastic Four need to be booped into a different universe, right?
Yeah.
Right, in the first 5 minutes more. In the first 5 minutes, there's going to be a tear in fabric and space, and the multiverse is just
probably. That's the other thing. If they did full reset and they promised themselves, like, we're only going to do ground level, street level, individual films, character films, and then we'll do a first team up, I still feel like they would get to multiverse within 2 phases.
Ugh.
Again, they would just be, they couldn't resist. And, you know, part of it is, it's an impossible problem to solve. How do you get all of these people who are still alive and can still make you lots of money, like Tobey Maguire, like Hugh Jackman? It's like, the only way is fucking multiverse. That's why they're doing it. They want to get all these different characters. Remember the first Reed Richards we saw, John Krasinski, was a fan cast hype moment for everyone. Now nobody wants him as Reed ever again.
No, because they fucking destroyed him.
Exactly. That's my point, though. It's like they take all of these things that they know are real, they know fans like have an interest in, some kind of passion, and then do it, kill it, and they're like, all right, what else we got? It's just like, that's the process. Because
the people who are dealing with this are fucking uninspired, no idea fucktards. And that's why they're looking back. They're looking back at the people that did the hard work and actually made those characters lovable. Fucking Tobey Maguire didn't just turn up on day one and everyone goes, we love Tobey Maguire. No, it was a fucking mixture of all of it. Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire, the fucking story, the script, the character, the portrayal, all of that fucking thing put together that made it so popular. Now we're in a situation where we've got a bunch of absolute fucktards running everything that got no fucking ideas, no fucking clue, hate this fucking thing, hate the fucking people that watch this fucking thing, and they're like, oh, what are we gonna just fucking ram something that people like, just put slop in it, put the slop that other people, the hard work that other people have done, fucking ram it in. We don't know what we fucking do. The more we cram in, maybe one of them will get fucking liked. Maybe they'll go, yay, so-and-so did a thing, because they got no fucking forward vision. None.
Well, yeah, and that's part of the other problem is that even if these guys get confirmed to come in, the best you get is, oh my God, there's a tear in reality. And then you hear the thwip sound and comes Spider-Man like, here I am, fellas, to save the day.
Music.
And then, does spiderweb stuff and then leaves. And you're like, wow.
Who are you? Great. I'm a Spider-Man.
But I mean, it was remarkable that they got treated as characters in No Way Home. That'll never happen again.
No. And as said,
lightning in a bottle.
They were still tying stuff up from their movies. Right. Yeah. So there's still story threads in there, a foundation that was built. What's the foundation of the multiverse? Right. So the foundation of these Avengers movies are going to be phases 1 through 3 still. And it'll be, well, we'll just add multiverse. But what was phase 4 about? Like, what was it leading up to?
Killing everything that had come before it.
Yes. It was about diversity. That's what it was about. But at least with, the Infinity Saga, you were still drawing on very loosely what Jim Starlin did and many others, and you were drawing from the comics. Now you're just absolutely, even in the worst movies, there was still a thread of a comic book story. Cap 4 was completely just made up, right? Not adapted. It was just made up, and it was gobbledygook. And, you know, I think the mistake with the Fantastic Four, and that's probably through Marvel's insecurity of the property, and like, because it's a very comic book property, it's very hard to adapt, but it's the same mistake as doing Batman versus Superman. So you mix in the death of Superman and the Dark Knight Returns for some reason into one movie to begin. And that's like, no, that takes years to lead up to. And you shouldn't be doing the coming of Galactus first.
And Trinity.
If you had any confidence in your story, there's plenty of Fantastic Four that you could establish them without bringing in the big bad automatically. And that's what they're in full on gimmick mode. And they just, and
things are so like regurgitated vomit levels now that Marvel have become what DC were to Marvel if you rewind 10 years.
Yep.
And DC are becoming like
even worse.
Yeah, it's like DC are like chasing Marvel's history. It's become insane.
They're all chasing each other, and they're not like pushing anything forward and trying to like, hey, let's
just make a story.
Keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. No, let's make it as complicated as possible up front. And try to redo something that honestly, on this scale, has never been done in Hollywood, which is the MCU. There's been other series that have lasted a long time, but like at least with Bond films, it's a one-off that rarely, until the Craig era, referred back to its own canon or anything. They were just one-off films. But now you have this interconnected universe that's turned into complete slop that's only really worked once in cinema.
And I mean, you know, how's this even going to translate to like the average audience members as well, with how complicated this has to be once you involve a billion multiverses?
Dude, when
it's so confusing.
Somebody said recently, when Hideo Kojima is fucking confused, you know you're fucked.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about like the percentage of people who watch D+ is compared to the movies is in the single digits. It's like 5%, 6%, and that's even high. In some cases, it's probably 0.1.
I told you, my normie mate, he said, "Oh, are you going to see Captain America 4?" I was like, "Yeah, I got to see it for the channel and whatnot." I said, "Are you going to see it?" He's just like, "Yeah, I like the Captain America films." And I was like, well, this has got Sam Wilson as Captain America. And he's like, "Who?" And I said, "Sam Wilson." I said, the guy that played Falcon, yeah, he's now Captain America. What? Why is he Captain America?
I think that's the most.
There's something very special about the 3 Captain America films, and the 4th one has nothing like about it. They're kind of like they're little. They're all remarkable in the MCU. The 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th one, I guess you could say, is remarkable.
For all the wrong reasons. I need to say, my mate didn't go see it. Ended up not going seeing it.
Well, that's surprising, considering he did. He's like, who's Captain? And he
had no clue.
So they're going to have to deal with that in some of the Avengers films, because people are going to be young Avengers. What the hell? Where did these people
they're going to have to deal with that in Superman.
It's going to have
Nobody knows who fucking Mr. Terrific is. Nobody knows who fucking Guy Gardner is, Maxwell Lord is. They know none of these fucking characters.
Oh, I know that from the Wonder Woman rape movie.
Wonder Woman.
Nobody saw that film. Wonder Rape.
Rape Woman, wouldn't it be?
I said, no, I know the movie where the woman rapes the guy.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It happened.
Power.
Nobody knows who these characters are. And you got fucking, this is our 8-year plan. Blah, 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 blah. Just fucking make a Superman film. Holy fucking shit, man.
I was going to say, as a normie, I only know the OG Avengers. So how many of the OG Avengers as their characters are going to be in this new Avengers movie?
Well, wait, who do you think of the OG Avengers?
Like Iron Man, Hulk, I'm trying to think. None of them
Steve
are
Rogers,
alive.
Cap.
No. But do you
Black
know,
Widow.
X-Ray, do you know something?
MCU.
You've actually summed up perfectly a normie attitude.
No, because I am a normie. I understand.
But that's just
there's-
it. But that's just it. I'm not. It's not meant disrespectfully at all. It's just meant in. You ask the average person on the street who they are, and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't know, Iron Man, maybe.
Thor.
That guy with the shield and the one with the hand." That's what it's like. That's why when you have these fucking Mr. Terrifics and Superman and fucking Guy Gardner and Maxwell Lord, people are just like. To them, it's just you're just confusing them with characters they have no fucking clue about.
And
You'd
that's
be
why they're
lucky.
not
I
gonna
tell you
watch
what,
the
you'd
new
be
one.
lucky if most people got who fucking Lex Luthor was.
I mean, to an extent, you're not actually wrong on that. Like I think it surprised some people, especially in our sort of sphere, just how little a lot of people know. Like my dad, for example, if I said Iron Man, he'd be like, "Yeah, I know Iron Man." And then if I said, I'm trying to think of like the first most surprising one, I don't think he'd know who Ant-Man is, even though
There's been 3
it's like,
movies.
he'd probably know Cap. I think he'd know Cap, but we're stretching it already. Like Hulk, everyone knows Hulk, so that's kind of pointless. Same with Thor. I'm trying to think of what's like a shocking one that's still kind of close up. He'd know Superman.
Hawkeye.
He'd know-
Scarlet Witch. Do Scarlet
Did you
Witch.
mention
He wouldn't know Hawkeye.
Yeah.
He wouldn't know Hawkeye.
No.
Everybody forgets about poor Hawkeye. Maybe if they put him in his costume, which is a rad costume. I like Hawkeye's costume.
But yes, the OG Avengers though, that's Ant-Man's in that, right, Gary?
Yeah.
Are we going to go OG?
OG.
Oh, like the first Avengers?
No, the only ones left are in OG are Hulk and Thor.
No. Well, I just mean the original team in the comics, not.
Oh, in the comics.
Oh.
Ant-Man, yes, in the comics. I thought you were talking about MCU.
No.
In the comics, Ant-Man. It's OG. Hulk is an OG for
And
like
Wasp,
one
right?
issue. Yeah, Wasp. And well, I can go. I got the first issue right over there, but I can't reach it. But I think we were talking more for MCU. So of
course.
of OG members who are left that they could bring back for Avengers Doomsday is Hawkeye, Thor, because you can't count Doctor Strange because he's not OG. So Hawkeye, Thor, and Hulk.
There's like 2 tiers of OG now.
Yeah.
The OG people, like you said, the main ones. I don't even know that they have access to Thor at this point. I'm starting to wonder with the absolute lack of information. Hulk, Mark Ruffalo will do anything, I'd imagine. So they're probably fine on that front, even if they are gonna. Who knows if they fucking use him anymore? Black Widow, more likely to sue than to join the team at this point. Hawkeye, I'd imagine he's probably on board. Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, but
Iron Man.
in terms of ones that are alive and you don't have to finagle them coming back, it's Hawkeye, Hulk, and Thor.
Well, I mean, to an extent, Iron Man too. They've got Robert Downey Jr.
So-
They could probably get him.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you are bringing the Avengers that are alive together,
But what meaning does that have? It's
In the
it's
multiverse, none.
Yeah.
None.
no, but that's interesting. In the multiverse, none. But if you're like, this world's creating its Avengers to go up against the multiverse of fucking spastics, right? Then those are the only 3 that are active. Everyone else is inactive. Steve Rogers is inactive. Iron Man's dead. Black Widow's dead.
I was
Hawk,
mostly talking about likelihoods from like the meta of what we know about the actors, their interests.
Oh, they're all of them. I reckon ScarJo as well.
I doubt she's coming.
It would take a lot
She'll-
for her to come back.
Yeah, and they're
Do you
not
know-
going to pay. They're not going to pay her
Eh,
fucking Robert Downey Jr.
If
money.
maybe she comes back if they just blame Chapek for what happened, which is what they did. Maybe
They still have to pay her a whole bunch,
they would.
and I just don't know that they as much as they have more money than God. I don't think they have that kind of money. Like to
They
be
paid
just
it all to
fucking
RDJ.
willy-nilly. They spent it all on the Russos and RDJ. I think
If I
at
was
this
her, I'd
point.
be all, I want RDJ money to come back.
Yeah, and they won't do it. They'd be like, "Yeah, you're not that famous. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Certainly not in the
No,
MCU."
I'll give it 10,
So
10, 20.
a feasible team would be Doctor Strange,
Star-Lord.
Hulk, Star-Lord,
Which
Hawkeye,
Hulk? Funny Hulk?
Thor. Yeah. I'm just talking about a feasible. I said talking bare minimum here. But without
Hey guys.
what?
Wong.
Thunderbolts in May.
Yeah. 2 months.
Everyone's excited. I'm just amused by the fact that we're going to watch Task Manager get killed. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm honest to God, right now I'm thinking, does it even make 200 million worldwide?
Oh, I think it does.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, we'll see.
I think this one is far more threatening of a fun time than Captain Falcon.
Yep.
Is this gonna be oh wow. I
don't think it cost as much as Cap 4. There wasn't any talk of major reshoots with this one.
No.
And it's also just it's a little bit freer, I think, to do whatever it wants. There's a chance there may be one joke in there that makes us go, huh. Or that thing where you exhale through your nose, where you just go,
Huh.
It's got a chance of that, guys. One chance.
You're like, and then a bit of snot comes.
Well, if that was
Someone said that's a low bar. It's like, welcome to the MCU.
Yes.
Wow.
It is
some guy 3 rows back from you goes,
yeah. The guy who laughs at everything.
You turn around to check when he's on his phone. You're like, oh.
Well, I mean, look at the trailer. That was supposed to be the best humor, and you're like, oh.
This is what I think they've put the best in the trailer. That's what I think. I think this is going to be a fucking garbage film.
Well, nobody's denying that. It's just we only get garbage now, both of you, obviously. So it's like, how do we rank? Like, there's this special
slop. What level of slop?
Like wine tasting. It's like smelling the garbage, like wafting the garbage, and being like, "Oh, this is very bad garbage. This one's less bad garbage." Wow,
it's got notes of dog shit.
There's a hint of vomit. I don't. That's very. I can smell a peri sauce in there. Wow, that's not helping.
Okay, nice.
The vomit really underlays the power of the sewage in this.
It's the after smell that's really getting me with this one.
Really reinforces the power of the sewage. That's what I was looking for. Oh God.
He can't help you now.
No.
He can't help the MCU.
I would love to talk about Daredevil, but none of us have seen it. It's coming out tonight. 8 p.m. Central.
There is a subject. I'll read out the thing. I assume this is where you're going, so I'll read out why people are talking about this. There's a tweet from Marvel Tesseract that says, "We've seen all 9 episodes of Daredevil Born Again, and for those worrying about spoilers, don't. I'm not going to get into any of that. It's bold, brutal, timely. It lacks the original's religious themes and has some bland new characters, but the action, legal scenes, Charlie Cox, White Tiger, Punisher, and Fisk Matt rivalry are brilliant. A massive win for the MCU." Now, there's something in there that pissed everyone off. Can you guess what it is?
The lack of Catholicism.
If anyone's watched any of the show and knows anything about Daredevil, the Catholicism is incredibly important to the character.
Or read it. Yes. It is the foundation of the character, and the fact that it's called Born Again. You just think.
Well, so to be clear, this pissed me off. I'm pretty sure Charlie Cox himself has said this, but Born Again relates only to the fact that it's coming back. It has nothing to do with the storyline, which I think is like, guys, that's not cool. Like, it's because obviously season 3 was supposed to be quite a solid adaptation of Born Again, but the idea that you're going to take the name and then be like, it has nothing to do with Born Again. It's just that he's born again because he's on a different, a different thing. You're like, oh, okay.
We'll see how it affects it. I've heard good things from people who've seen it all. It could be a mixed bag at times, but they kind of seal the deal at the end. I mean, time will tell.
I have only seen positive reviews from anyone who's seen either between like 4 and the full set of episodes. I was gonna say that tweet got quote tweeted by someone I spotted and said, I've only seen the first 4 episodes, but this is not true. They handled differently and perhaps not as directly as Matt talking to a priest in a church, but Matt literally discusses grace as a foundational value in the first episode.
There you go.
So
maybe, yeah.
Don't always believe what you read. Who knows?
Yeah, and maybe the person's not Catholic and just isn't versed in what they may reference indirectly or directly. Maybe.
You know, it's the same with everything. We're willing to give it a shot. The marketing on this one is more reassuring than it could have been, you know. So, and you got some sources, some red and tomato, as mentioned, that are mentioning some positive things. We'll give it a shot. We'll give it next week's Real BBC. Oh, we'll talk all about it.
Yeah. Will this turn around Marvel? No, but hopefully it keeps Daredevil, you know, somewhat good. And I said, like, even if it's in the realm of as good as the Netflix series, that's kind of a win. I mean,
the big concern I would have is the damage it could do to the story as it stands. We know, without being more specific, just in case, since we're so close to it coming out now, a big event is going to happen, and everyone's worried about how they handle it. We'll see. It's probably going to upset a lot of people, you know, no matter how you do it. But hey,
so what they had to do is from the 18 I'm trying to read this as vaguely as possible. So from the 18 episode first one they were going to do that was going to mostly be a comedy, they did 6 or 7 episodes, and they had to rework some of that stuff into the beginning episodes. So there is a couple of rando characters that kind of show up and nothing comes up of it. Now I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But Chris has seen it all, and he's going to talk about it more on his live stream. But he said it's good. What he says here: the best Disney Plus Marvel series I've seen. Also, it's
that's not saying much.
It's not saying much. Okay. It's funny. R-rated. A couple of episodes are very R-rated, which is good. It's very good with moments of cringe, mostly having to do with side characters that almost ruined it, but it doesn't in the end. We'll find out tonight with those first 2 episodes. And apparently it starts out with the bang. So we won't get into, again, spoilers with all that stuff. But I really want this to be good. I want everything to be good, but I really want this one to be good. Because MauLer's rewatching it. I'm rewatching it. Dude, the first season of Daredevil cost $40 million for 13 episodes.
It's an excellent show for that cost. I would also say that I don't know what the general perception is, but I agree with, I think you'll take, Gary, that season 1 is the best.
Yep.
But I think I like season 2 the most.
Season 2 is my favorite. Season 1's the best.
Yeah. Dude, the fucking Punisher stuff, certainly in the first half, is like, it's some of the best shit in the MCU. It really is.
It's so fucking good.
That I can't, you know, because I was watching it with Fringy, that scene at the graveyard just between Matt and Frank is, I don't think you'll ever see that again in the MCU. I don't think they could, like, to give that much time to a character to just talk about what matters to them. I was just like, man, this almost feels surreal.
It's all that boring stuff of people talking to each other.
Navel gazing.
Navel gazing. Yeah. You know, in season 1, Foggy going out and getting drunk with Karen, that whole scene, like, is that navel gazing? No, you're building Foggy up. Foggy's an amazing character, and they build him up so well in the first. It's the most respect to a side character I've seen in any superhero thing, like, ever. It's brilliant, because then that's how important Foggy and Karen are, especially Foggy, to the foundation of Matt. And dude, just some of those, like, little quiet scenes are fucking awesome. You know, when Foggy's confronting Matt when he finally finds out he's Daredevil, that whole episode is.
They have a whole episode just for them, past and present. That's kind of shit you'll never see anymore.
Like,
because that story, that's like, it's remarkable to watch. Like, oh yeah, it's a TV show because they used to make those. They used to know how.
Yeah.
Once.
And I will say, like, I like the hand plot line more this time around. I still think what it's missing, because it's fine on action, truly, but I don't know, it's missing some kind of, like, spice that the Punisher side has way more of, I think. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, the hand was going somewhere, and then they fucking fucked it up in Defenders. So
I can't believe, and I guess I'm saying spoiler warning. I don't know. It feels weird because I wouldn't recommend watching Defenders in a million years, but fucking Stick dying in Defenders.
I know.
That's so lame. And like Daredevil season 3 doesn't really get to have its moment regarding that for a decent amount of time because it's really hard to fit it in. Because do you remember? Okay, so this was like shocking to me. Stick gets killed, Matt gets knocked out, and then we have like a whole series of scenes before Matt's allowed to mourn him or even mention like how much this hurts because that's like his second dad. I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Who wrote this shit?
Bro, those Stick episodes in season 1 are so fucking good.
Well, I mean, Stick, I think, might be my second favorite character. So knowing that he just fucking died in Defenders sucked.
Well, it's like, don't get me started with 60. She was in her 60s. Grandma Sigourney Weaver being a founding member of the Hand and like beating Elektra. It's like, get the fuck out of here. It was so dumb.
I don't know. Why did they had a, for loads of episodes, just walking slowly and talking randomly and then just killed. I was like, what was the point of that?
I don't know. And what they set up with Black Sky was so fucking cool. And it's like, you know where it goes. It's like, they wish they never answered it. Wish they never answered it. But damn.
What I realized quickly was I miss Wilson Fisk. Give me more Fisk. I want him back.
Yep. Oh, dude. And again, season 1 is a lot of flashback for characterization. We get to see Fisk's beginnings, and they're so fucking good.
So good. And then Echo just it's disgusting is what it is.
Jeez.
I forgot.
Did Madame Gao have the Force? Like, I was 100% clear on that. She was like moving shit with her mind.
Well, she was pretty powerful. And
she was. And then she got crushed in Defenders.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, don't.
Everyone fucking dies in Defenders, man.
It's terrible, Defenders. It's just fucking terrible.
Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but Matt is kind of the only person I liked in Defenders. Everyone else is constantly making fun of him and like essentially shitting on him. There's this part that really made me think like, oh god, yeah, we are into this era. They look down the big hole, and Jessica Jones is like, never thought I'd be standing on a big hole getting ready to fight some ninjas in the deepest parts of that sort of line. And then Matt says something along the lines of like, I'm really glad that we found each other and that we're together on this, and that, you know, I don't know if I could do this without you guys. And then Luke Cage is like, I'm not gonna hug you, buddy. And then Jessica's like, do you actually mean that? And I was just like, I want both of you to fuck off. Like, Matt is the only sincere character in the entire season. It's so annoying.
The Netflix shows fell off hard. Okay, like the Daredevil one was the only consistently good one. The rest of them fell off.
First season,
really
Jessica
hard.
Jones is great. First part of season 1 of Luke Cage is great. Everything, fucking all of Iron Fist was shit. The whole fucking lot of it was shit. And Defenders was fucking tripe.
Yep. Do you guys want to watch the Doctor Who trailer before we get in this?
I've heard
the one that had had more likes than views at one point.
No. You know what? But just before, because it's something I saw and I was just curious to mention. I guess did you guys hear that Hassan got temp banned on Twitch because he threatened to send his life?
Yes,
he's back.
He's already back.
That was only
he's
a day.
He's already back.
Day.
Fucking Twitch.
1 day.
So like 1 day, 3 hours.
Calling
10
to
seconds
kill
or
a political figure gets you 1 day.
Is Alex Jones back on YouTube? Don't think so.
I don't like. You know, loads of people are saying like you should boycott Twitch. It's like, yeah, obviously.
Well, I do all the time.
It's not hard. It's a terrible.
Yes, this is my 55th year in a row boycotting Twitch. So, even before it was around. Not difficult. All right, so Doctor Who season 15, its final season is coming up. I know, dude. And it's the doctor and the nurse, guys, because I mean Martha was technically a doctor.
Martha was a doctor.
Yeah, but they've done this before. They've done it in the past, but it is the most diverse crew of the TARDIS ever. Maybe not though. He's still a dude. So, I mean, barely. But let's see.
Hello, I'm Shuzi Gatswa.
And I'm Varda Sethu from the newest season of Doctor Who.
We cannot wait for you to see everything we have
What's
in
her
the
name?
works. But for now, we hope you enjoy this.
What's her name?
Mm-hmm.
I
I'll put
not a
Prime-
clue.
She said,
Who?
We cannot wait.
Something
See, the
Vu.
subtitle said Vu.
And I'm Varda Sethu from the newest season.
Valda say
Dude, the
Vu.
Even the
subtitles just
fucking
gave up.
subtitles.
So I don't know, dude.
I'm Vu. I'm Shru
Vroom,
Gatwa, and I'm Vu. From the new
I love the
season.
idea that we've got like a little robot that looks at us like, I do not know what.
Does not compute.
AI's just like, no, we got a long turn. We got a long way to go.
All right.
Of Doctor Who.
We cannot wait for you to see everything we have in the works. But for
Uh-huh.
now, we hope you enjoy this sneak peek at the upcoming.
Don't forget to touch grass.
There are forces beyond this universe. We think we are so clever. But we're like children
Talking about the writers of the
among
show.
these vast creatures. Look down on us.
Trying to butch him up there.
Our entire reality is in danger.
Didn't work.
Skeleton monster. Woo!
I don't think that's how skeletons usually work with the legs, but hey,
It's okay.
not
What
a
do
bone
you
expert.
know about skeletons?
You're not a bone expert?
No.
Don't say it. Ooh.
Our entire reality is in danger.
So what's your name?
Just a doctor.
All right then. I'm called the nurse.
There is something already connecting us.
Did
This is
they
Oh.
change the
Tiny.
lighting? They changed the lighting scheme in there a little less from the trans color flags
Mm-hmm.
inside the TARDIS.
Yeah, no, Doctor Who saved.
So she's
This is a time machine.
I'm just fucking sick and tired. I mean, not I'm going to watch this fucking pile of fucking unmitigated shit, but I'm just fucking sick and tired of, oh, there's something that's connecting us. Everything's always got to connect there. Every fucking character's always connecting.
it's just redoing everything from the RTD Moffat era.
Over and over
Over
and
and
over and over again, and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Are you watching this one, Gary?
Bless you.
Maybe if it's truly the last one. I'm waiting for word. I think it is. I think we see it off. But I watched all of the last season. I just didn't review stuff.
I watched nearly all of it, and I regret that. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm touching this one.
We'll
What did
see.
I see?
I
I saw,
mean, Yeah, we'll see.
couple of, I think, 2 episodes, and I was done.
I am not one of your adventures. You need to get me home.
Don't worry, girl. We all know you will not be one of his adventures. That is very clear.
You're safe.
You're safe. You're okay.
Might be the wrong way round.
You're Scooby-Doo.
Honey, I'm Velma.
Oh
You're
God.
meant
Oh
to-
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
Oh.
You know, Disbrew popped a little bit when he said that.
Well, yeah, he's just thinking back to when he could do reviews about the terrible fucking Mindy Kaling show. That's
Yeah.
why.
You're meant to voyage out there and own it.
We're just
Unless,
popping
no,
in.
actually, he's quite right. He is Velma, a complete and utter fucking sham of an original character which people loved.
Yes, the modern Velma. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Girl, you are beginning to enjoy this.
Welcome to the Interstellar Song Contest!
Oh God.
Oh, we're so
Oh.
sorry.
Somehow, it got gayer.
Oh, dude. That'll be great.
I love a good show.
Oh, who's
So
she?
game to them.
That's the big mystery.
Beaming at ya!
No, I don't care.
Are deadly. Tell a story.
Aren't you scared Why? Because it likes the taste.
I promised that I would keep you safe.
You can't.
I can't.
So we're gonna have Daleks this season.
I will.
I mean, they have to, but
They have to.
they
Yeah.
have to
Well, if they want to keep the rights to it.
if they want to keep the rights.
I do. I will take you home. That is a promise.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Apathy.
Yeah, I just don't.
What's the stage after that, Gary? Because that's where I'm at.
Oh, well, I mean, apathy is not caring. I like that's pretty much it. You stay in that stage.
That's already
I have
rock bottom.
stopped
Well,
caring.
I'm further than that.
Yep, I have stopped caring.
Entropy.
Everything's an entropy at all times. But yeah, we warned this would happen. I think the next step is just finally getting the official word that it's canceled. I can't see even Disney backing this thing up because it was supposed to excel internationally, and it hasn't even excelled domestically in the home country that used to love this show. So can't see it selling in China. I can't see it selling here. I don't think it's selling anywhere else. And they put a lot of money into this. And look what happens. It's another, Americans got involved into another beloved British IP and helped fuck it up. It's kind of what we do. Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who.
I think
we're going to fuck up Bond.
Yeah, but dude, everyone, look, I think it's freaking safe to say everyone is sick and fucking tired of just seeing fruity fucking characters on their screen all the time. They're sick and fucking tired of not seeing some actual masculinity and femininity there. And it's just so fucking dull. I don't want to quote myself, but it's just so fucking dull. Oh, look, the fruity guy's being fruity with his fruity innuendo, with the fruity fucking side cast and the fruity fucking co-stars in the fruity fucking events that they always do. Oh, just fuck off.
They've emasculated every male intellectual property, at least the big three that we like. Star Trek is an incompetent matriarchy. We have Doctor Who and, of course, Star Wars. And they were doing it to Marvel. We'll see if they can recover. But you're right. Masculinity is the thing that's missing from Hollywood and entertainment right now. They thought they could just move past it.
No.
But you can't. Let's get to soups. Josh Kelsey has dropped $19.99 and walks away because that's what Josh does. Oh, so Hassan was that even a ban? Like, how long was it? Hours?
10 bans.
A day and a little, like an hour or two.
And Amaranth.
The kind of thing, Gary, you completely miss if you go outside, just hang out with some friends, come back home late. You're like, oh, I'll just stream tomorrow. Yeah, I'm all right. And then you just miss the ban completely because that's the thing is he's Twitch's golden boy, as many people are aware. They had all of the staff of Twitch recorded by the CEO wishing him a happy birthday at one point. He's their golden boy. So it's you can get away with so much shit. It's why he does this.
I got the actual stats. 1 day, 3 minutes, and 12 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, apparently you can get away with saying a lot of shit on Twitch.
Uh-huh.
If you have the right politics.
Jesus Christ, I know people that got banned longer by saying the word simp.
Or cracker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cracker, yeah.
So her name's Amaranth, right? The one who... Did you hear about this?
The crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah, the crypto burglars.
And it's all on video? And apparently it really happened?
Yeah, it's
According
been
to the
confirmed
police?
by police and donut operator.
Donut operator, yeah.
Confirmed it as well.
So did they get away or did they catch him?
I don't know.
I think they got away, but her husband had shot one of them because there's a trail of blood leading away.
Which husband's this? Is this the same husband that was forcing her to do the work, even though he wasn't?
so.
Or is this a new husband that's come along that's not forcing her to do the things that she's still been doing?
I'm not
A new
sure.
husband. There's still some some theories about whether or not it's staged. If the guy actually got shot and ends up in jail, I guess we can confirm it's all real, right?
Yep. That's crazy. On so many levels.
Fucking nuts.
Well, don't flaunt your money online, because
I don't think there's much he could do about that. Like, everyone would have known.
No, she showed off her crypto profile on stream.
What I'm saying is that she's one of the most successful OnlyFans people ever in history. So she has money.
Get better security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, she had cameras and everything. Well, I hope they bring those villains to justice. Yarmoth for 50. Seeing where Star Wars is at this point just legitimately breaks my heart. Say what you will about George's other works, but even the prequels still feel like Star Wars, not this KK slop that's been fed to us. Agreed? I think, George was probably obviously hurt by the clapback from the prequels, but that was just downright tame compared to what's happened lately.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Star Wars was very healthy when he sold it. Very healthy. Ryan?
Well, yeah, he was, judging by what happened when The Force Awakens came out.
Yeah. It was a good time to sell it. It was really a good time to sell it. And listen, George is still getting rich off it. Very rich off it. He's got a bunch of Disney stock, and I think his portfolio's grown. Like, he's a multi-billionaire now because of this. Ryan Crawford for $19.99, proper British money. Hail, I've never been less excited for this year's sci-fi and fantasy. Superman is going to flop as well as Fantastic Four. Believe it. Superman's teaser looks terrible, and female Silver Surfer, enough said. Those aren't good signs. And the rollout for James Gunn DC has not been good.
No.
Has not been good. This was supposed to be streamlined. He's going to across the board cancel everything from the DCU and start over. And now we're kind of starting over. Peacemaker 2 is still around. That's from the DCU. Amanda Waller. It's going to be the same Amanda Waller. Creature Commandos. We started out with a cartoon that everybody's forgotten about. We've already reached.
Nobody watched it. Never mind forgotten about. Yeah, nobody fucking watched it.
Nobody watched it. And as we predicted the day he put out that schedule, he's rearranged the schedule. But no authority.
The authority's gone.
Yeah, that's a good move. Thor Song 1.
Booster Gold's gone.
Thor Song 1. Booster Gold is somebody you introduce in somebody else's movie. You don't like
Booster Gold's somebody you introduce in Phase fucking 68.
Yeah. It's not something you like lead with. Just like an offshoot Clayface movie. You don't like lead with that. It's such a weird choice.
Hey, somewhat good news at least is the guy who did the Batman Penguin makeup. He's apparently signed on for Clayface.
That's good. That guy was good.
It was very good.
It's a good makeup artist. Give him that.
Well, if
that's important, right, for a Clayface film?
Sure.
Yeah, very.
But depends how practical they're going to get. If they're going to get practical with it, or whether or not they're just going to CGI, which could.
Yeah. Well, it will be CG. You just got to get the balance right, I suppose.
It's
John Carpenter's Clayface would be cool.
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, I mean, again, if it's a low budget horror movie and it's fine, it's just such a weird thing to go with so many Elseworlds before.
Dude, just wait until we hear it's got a budget of 100. Yeah, well, just wait until we hear it's got a budget of 130 fucking million or something. You'd be like,
Thor Song 1.
You're not giving these. They're never giving these things a chance.
No. Thor Song 1 for $20. Gary, we know you prefer the original Silver Surfer. What are your thoughts on Donny Cates' Thor run where Thor becomes the Herald of Galactus? I have no thoughts on it. Isn't
Donny Cates back in Marvel now? They've brushed his getting his cock out at parties.
Is that what he did?
Under the table? Yeah, he was getting his he was getting off his head either alcohol or drugs, probably a mixture of both. Getting his cock out at fucking industry parties.
Was he high?
I mean, I don't think it was sober.
Okay, well, I hope we get sober. Do we know all this for a fact? So
I've got it under very good lockdown.
Well, yeah, he had to go and get himself right for some reason. So, not the biggest fan of his writing, just not at all. M2M for $10. MauLer, I hope you do an EFAP coverage of Ninja 1 and Ninja 2. It's an exciting and impressive animated experience. Ninja 2 is still hitting the big screen. I saw it 3 times in theaters. I may go to a 4th.
Fair enough. Maybe. Who knows?
It's making a lot of money in China. Nathan Cassidy for $9.99. Comic book question. Is there a seminal solo run for Wonder Woman? As a casual fan, I could think of great solo runs for Batman and Superman, but I struggle to think of any for Wonder Woman outside of JLA. I think a run with there's Perez and Byrne, both that had pretty good runs.
Byrne, yeah.
Both had pretty good runs with her. John Byrne's run is fucking great. That's the one I recall.
That was the one that ultimately led into all the Artemis stuff.
Yep. TJV Monster for $10. Gary, do you think Native American legends of Thunderbirds may have been surviving pterodactyls and what is it? Pterosaurs and pterodactyls. And also, what would you rather encounter in the woods, Bigfoot or Dogman? For me, neither. Oh, Bigfoot for sure. I think you might be able to talk to Bigfoot a little bit if he doesn't rip you apart, but not Dogman. Shlomi Leaner for $9.99. What are some good Ghost Rider comics for a beginner? I am in the middle of Heavens on Fire. For a beginner, I would start out. Oh, for a beginner, I have to get the name of the graphic novel real quick. But I would start out. I mean, at the beginning. That's why I always say start out with anything that collects Marvel Spotlight 5 and those Ghost Rider issues, and then go up from 1 in the Johnny Blaze stuff. But Danny Ketch is fucking good too. That's better storytelling in that. There's also a Garth Ennis run.
Garth Ennis?
That's the older Ghost Rider, Garth Ennis. That's a good one too. Big Ounce for $10. Weekly Marvel versus DC. Black Manta versus Claw. Even though Claw's brain and ability to function is in the Claw, and he doesn't have a real body, Manta's suit makes him durable enough to survive and destroy it. I'd say Black Manta over the Claw. Saley, I can't pronounce that last name, for $2. Have you watched
it's Saleh Ahibe.
Okay, thank you. Have you watched some of the anime suggestions?
Not yet. Been a bit busy, dude. But I'll try at some point.
General Grievous for $4.99. Happy Pancake Day. You guys seen the new Terminator 2D game? It looks good. I have seen it, and it does
looks
look
amazing.
It looks cool as fuck.
I didn't know. Is it Shrove Tuesday today?
Today's Tuesday.
Is it Shrove Tuesday?
What did you say?
Tuesday.
Hey? Is it Shrove Tuesday today?
Gary, say it's Tuesday again.
It's Tuesday.
What's a shrove?
I don't fucking know.
Shrove Tuesday's Pancake Day.
Sure.
I thought every day was Pancake Day.
In heaven it is.
In heaven. It is.
In heaven, yeah.
It's Tuesday, as.
Okay.
Sele for $5 more. Dick Grayson, briefly as Batman, and Wally West may be the second best examples of how to properly pass legendary mantles. Also, Tim Drake has been ruined. Yes, we discussed that yesterday. Favorite Robin is obviously Dick Grayson. And if you're going to pass the mantle of Batman to anybody, it would be to him. He'd be a very different Batman, but they did it.
Did a great job in Prodigal when Bruce passes it to him. And then after R.I.P. Batman, or Batman R.I.P., where Dick takes it on with more permanence because Batman's meant to be dead. There was a very good run there. Which actually that led pretty much all the way through to the end of the first volume of Batman 7, I think pretty much right up to 713. And then they ruined Dick. They've been ruining Dick Grayson ever since, by the way.
Axiom Seraph for $5. The thing I miss most is R-rated comic book sci-fi action films. If I say RoboCop, Predator, Terminator, Aliens, and Dread, what have I left out?
Event Horizon. It's good.
Yeah, but you got the basics right there. Fucking Dread. How does that movie not get a sequel? Well, it's in rights hell.
Because we needed sequels to films like Captain Marvel. Okay.
Yep, you're right. I sit corrected. Simon Morris for $4.99. When will X-Ray Girl release her cookbook? How to walk W-A-K, a dog.
I need to workshop more recipes, so if anyone's offering.
No.
No.
Conrad Dessar for 10 British pounds proper money. The Oscars is just the Epstein list. I mean, what was one of the biggest applause? I want to give a shout out to all the sex workers community, and everybody's all. One guy goes, "Woo!" Did you hear that?
We know what that guy's doing with his nights.
Holy shit! I'm like, good God, way to tell on yourself.
Fucking.
Well, didn't that Russian doll actress? I forgot her name. She's like, "Where are the 12-year-olds going to get their abortions?"
Oh,
Jesus.
It's like, happening a lot in Hollywood. Okay. Marksman of 117B for $1.99. Anyone see the show For All Mankind? I have seen it, parts of it. A lot of people like it. Alternate history stuff. Ronald D. Moore.
I'm balls deep into season 2 of Knight Rider right now. Fucking loving it.
Good show.
Oh, dude, it's like we're on a different fucking planet. It's like we're on a different fucking planet, mate. What happened to the human race?
I don't know. Well, it seems like after the cultural shift, there's this bit of a come down, right? So the cultural shift happens, everybody's happy, and then we look back and we go, okay, we finally started turning stuff around. We fucking did it, man. Then we look back at the path of destruction that brought us here, and we're like, fuck. It's just, it sucks. It sucks that we had to get here. Like it took they destroyed so fucking much that it finally forced everybody to wake up to it. And it's like, we can't fix any of this shit. I don't mind if X-Ray Girl brings more women on. She just wants to broaden our horizons. Armand for $10. Well, that's what we're here to do.
You're welcome.
Niku for 100 Swedish krona. Hey guys, long-time watcher, first-time super chatter. As will not be gentle. Do you think we'll get One Piece live action season 2 this year? Yes, I do. Netflix didn't include it in their 2025 lineup video. Well, they just finished filming, so maybe not. But it was always supposed to come out this year. But like Netflix is not great at marketing, and they don't announce things until last minute sometimes. But I think we get it this year. We'll find out. Are we really? I think a lot of us are like, it's a Netflix season 2. Take your time.
Yeah, tell you where the pictures down.
Yep. Reno the Turk for $2. In my opinion, Gunn is actively interfering with Reeves' Batman. It'd be hard to argue that at this point.
100%.
They're all going to be buddies up front, but remember, the Batman predates Gunn, so it's something he inherited, and I'm sure Gunn wanted to wipe everything off with a clean slate, despite him being told he has full control. He doesn't.
Yeah, to be 100% clear, if any one of us were given full control of a DC to start from the beginning with all the characters except Batman, it's like, what? You're like, sorry, someone else is doing Batman for now. That would be like, which is funny because I don't really believe in what James Gunn's vision is anyway. It's just that I understand being annoyed by that. But hey, you still got choices to make that were way better than the ones you've made.
Mm-hmm.
But if Warner is going to give you full control, but not, then that's down to, again, complete and utter mismanagement by Warner.
I agree with you somewhat. The problem is, of course, that Batman it's in progress, that continuity. So either you chop it off, which I don't even know is the wise decision, especially considering it's not part of it. It's like on its own. I still think, we talked about it earlier, I think it should have been focused and fast-tracked. Batman 2 should have been out by now. And depending on the results of that, we should have been expecting an announcement for Batman 3 anytime now. And then that could be the end. That could be the Reeves Batman. And that could be that. But instead, we're not getting the second one now until 2 years from now at best. Which is,
and again,
if at all,
Normies are going to think that this guy is in the Gunverse. It's just going to get using more and more confused. They have no idea what he means when he says Elseworlds. Normies haven't got a fucking clue what that means.
Can you imagine if it does actually get made because Superman fucks up? And so then we get the Batman in 2027, and it actually does okay. Like, maybe it makes more than Superman does. And then they're like, all right, 2030 is when we get the Batman 3, and Reeves announces that's his last one. And Robert Pattinson says he doesn't want to do it without Reeves. And so Gunn can finally have his Batman come out in 2033.
Oh, Gunn will be fired. Gunn will be fired by then, they'll be rebooting the DCU again.
It's so it's this is what I mean about you gotta plan somewhat for the future with how these IPs work. You should have rushed out, get Reeves' universe done. Because I understand not wanting to cut it off completely. I do. It's all set. It's there, and it's potentially very profitable. And then the Penguin makes things more complicated by being fucking good. Unfortunately for them, I guess. But I definitely this squabbling that we've got. It reminds me of the sequel trilogy. This hundreds of $1 million slap fight. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
But it's all self-inflicted. It's all self-inflicted.
Yeah. It's because these things are produced and not they don't have one creative vision. Even though Gunn is there, he's still got his producer guy, and they still have to compete with a bunch of other studio heads that have nothing to do with DC Studios. Is its own independent studio, but it still has to answer to the studio head of Warner Brothers. I was talking about this yesterday. Same goes for Kevin Feige. He still has to answer to the studio head, not just Iger, and their involvement and their staff. So, yeah, it's kind of a miracle when we do get some good stuff, but it's utterly impossible right now. And all James Gunn had to do was focus on a Superman movie and let's see how it goes.
Superman film.
But that's not going to satisfy Warner Brothers investors who are looking to recoup some of their lost money with a studio that's massively in debt right now.
Do we know the budget this Superman movie, by the way?
Oh, $10. That's what they're going to
Is it still called Superman Legacy as well?
No, it's just
No, they changed that.
Oh, what's it called now?
Superman.
Just Superman.
Yep.
Which is the obvious choice if you want to really try and sort this reboot and get it the best chance it's got. But
Yep.
Fucking hell, this will have a legacy, all right.
WG has donated 50. What's up, WG? Super, yes, literally a super chat. Thank you. And then he donated 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Thanks, WG. Edwin, the 20 Danish krona, says, know your mum.
Know you!
Oh my God.
Know you!
Is this one supposed to X-Ray Girl, Arm 514.
Arm slave.
Arm Slave. That's right. $10. The first changes weren't too bad, but at least Lucas didn't change the blaster to Nerf guns. But yes, the no in the no in Return of the Jedi killed that one for me, but it was not in the OG remasters. A lot of stuff. The pacing in Empire with George's director's cuts, those special editions, fucks up the pace of Empire in a couple of scenes, which is terrible.
Have you seen the fucking budget on this Superman film that's been touted?
Pretty high. James Gunn has denied it, even though it was part of public records.
Yeah. The film was awarded over $11 million through state's tax credit program based on a $37 million spend in the state out of the film's reported total budget of $363.8 million. Gunn disputed the accuracy of this budget, which would have made it the most, or one of the most expensive superhero films of all time. I think
Behind the Flash.
Yeah, behind the Flash, behind Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Behind fucking Falcon and the Winter fucking Captain Falcon bin.
Yep.
I
could see
but it's anywhere between 250 and 360 million.
I believe that. I don't believe it's below 250. Not for a minute.
Good luck.
Good luck. McCready for £5 proper money. Gary, if you've seen it, tell the boys to watch The Conversation. I have many years ago with Gene Hackman, Francis Ford Coppola film, about a neurotic surveillance man. If not, all you bums watch it.
Wow.
I think I can highly recommend The Conversation. Highly recommend it.
I love French Connection. French
Connection is awesome. Joshua Beckel for $10. But Gary, it has grown. It's grown as in a groan. Roll on snare drum. Also, I'm old enough to know that whenever somebody says, let me be clear, it's followed by utter bullshit. Yep.
Yeah.
Gooding is greater than all of Marvel combined. Stark times Superman. Says Steven Caruso for $2. Zeddy Boy for $5. Nosferatu and The Substance were robbed. Nosferatu should have gotten production design. I agree. And The Substance should have gotten best director and actress. I also agree. Because that was the best directed movie of them all that I saw. I didn't see The Brutalist.
It's a very well directed movie, Substance.
Remington PRD for $10. MauLer, do you think you can play a gay James Bond if Amazon gave you the role? Gary, can you play a blackface M? And can you play your fat Asian Q who talks like DSP?
I don't know.
I guess a gay James Bond theme would be like,
I'm here for it.
Do you hear Piers Brosnan was asked about returning to Bond?
And
he gave the very diplomatic answer to it, which was it'd be very romanticized, but things got to move on, type of thing.
Well, he's going to be in a Guy Ritchie TV series called Mobland that comes out later this month with Tom Hardy. On Paramount Plus. So Guy Ritchie has another series coming out.
When do we get Gentleman season 2? Is it gonna be like 10 years, like every season?
It started filming, so it's gonna be next year.
Sweet.
Same cast or new story?
Same cast.
Okay.
With new story.
You got more story to tell, as it didn't end yet,
Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little darker, they said.
Ooh.
No coked out guys in chicken suits. Well, I hope so.
So good.
Z-Bat.
Fucking shit.
Eat the grain! Eat the grain! Eat the fucking grain! God, that scene is so good. I died watching that.
It's
I still Feels so fucking bad for it's Peter Serafinowicz, right? Like he deserves better roles, bigger roles. He's so fucking good at everything he does.
Such a good actor, isn't he? He
chewed
really is
up
such
the
a good
scenery in that, but it was so fucking good.
You can do any accent. He'll go to like 11, no matter what you're having him do. Like, why the fuck hasn't he been given? I don't know. Something.
Dude, he was in The Tick. Did you
He was
see?
excellent as a Tick.
He was
yeah.
so fucking good in The Tick. And they
Wasn't he in
canceled that,
Guardians of the Galaxy?
He was. He was one of the pilot guys.
Yeah.
Not in it for
One of
very
the
long.
Nova
and then they
Corps.
blow him up.
Yeah, he gets blowed up in that as well. Fucking hell.
Also, who's he the voice of?
Everything. He's the
come
voice
on.
of shit tons of characters. Which one are you referencing?
There's a big one.
Oh.
Chat will get it. I got to look at the chat though. I'm gonna read until you figure it out. Zbad 805 for $10. Hey gang, have you seen Common Side Effects by Joe Bennett and Steve Haley on Adult Swim? I have not. It's delightfully weird, funny, and dramatic. It's delightfully weird. Are you looking at the chat? I'm not looking at the chat. Now I'm looking at the chat. There you go. Chat's got it. You guys.
Darth.
He's not the only voice of Darth Maul. You got
He's a
Sam
voice of
Witwer as
Darth
well.
Maul. He's a voice of Darth Maul. The
Sam
OG.
Witwer's Darth Maul.
So I would have said Sam Witwer was the more iconic voice of Darth Maul, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd say that.
From Phantom Menace?
Nobody cares about Phantom Menace. It's the Clone Wars everyone talks about for Darth Maul.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not even kidding you. For his voice, yes. He fucking has like 2 lines in Phantom Menace.
But that's the movie. That's the real one. That's the real George Lucas one. And people are going to get mad at me.
Yeah, George Lucas was a part of Clone Wars. He was around when it was going on.
He voiced Darth Maul in 2 fucking
Voiced?
lines.
He forced Darth Maul. He forced
Yeah.
him
Darth Maul.
in an alleyway. Didn't they start off with Ray Park as the
Yeah, and
voice
they
as
said
well?
no,
And they were just
and it
like,
didn't
no.
work out. Yeah.
Which is hilarious considering, like I said, he's got like 2 lines. It's crazy that, they were like, well, you can't be doing that.
Have you seen the scene though where he actually speaks and you're kind of like, yeah, I get it.
Well, it's like Darth Vader's original voice, right? You're like,
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's David Powell.
Or David Prowse.
Yeah,
Yes, he
Prowse
did.
that did the. He did the voice as well, and they were just like, no, nope. It's like, hey, everybody. I mean, can you get those guys to me or something?
Well,
That'd be great. Thank you.
In all fairness to him, right, what we get shown is the on-set recording. I'm sure they would have done like a studio one, but the thing is, he was never going to be able to do as well as James Earl Jones. I'm sorry, it's just impossible.
But you could tell there wasn't the presence there, though. You could tell.
Yeah.
But he was great as the Tick. If you haven't seen the Tick, I think it's still on Amazon Prime. It got 2 seasons, and it was all versions of the Tick are great. By the way, the Fox show is fucking great, and the animated show is great. But
he was in Creature Commandos, I guess. I didn't watch that. I don't know.
But I think he's on a lot. He's one of the James Gunn boys, isn't he? So,
yeah.
He was also in Zack Snyder's The Seneschal. I have no idea what that is. He played Bartholomew. All right.
What?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
He was in Royal Crackers, Dead Heart, What If? Oh boy, he played. Oh, he was the character he was in Guardians, but he was in What If?
Oh.
Rick and Morty, Midsummer Murders.
Hey, classic British show there.
episode. Yeah. Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. He was in that. That's the thing. He's never, slowing down. He's got shit tons of projects he works on. It's just I feel like he deserves one of them breakout sort of like everyone knows him now roles, even though everyone kind of does know him. Do you know what I mean? Like a Walter White type thing where he does a role like that and he nails it, and then everyone knows him in that way because he's more than proven himself. First thing I remember seeing him in properly was Shaun of the Dead. He was funny as fuck in that. It's 4 in the fucking morning.
Pac-Man 76 for $4.99. Can't wait for the Amazon Gay Bond classics from Russia with Lube. STDs are forever, anti-pussy, the tip is not enough, and quantum of some ass.
Oh my god.
The tip is not enough is my personal
Quantum
favorite.
of some ass. That was good. That's good. Well played, sir. Well played. The infamous El Guapo for $5. A few of my super chats have been lost. I'm sorry. But it seems, was wondering, Gary, have you read, we'll see if we can get those for the square up. Infamous El Guapo. Was it from yesterday? Have you read Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith? I have not, but I meant to. He is a legend. You're right. He doesn't get enough praise. His Conan, which is great, by the way, is tops. And I love his Wolverine, which is also great. Dude needs his flowers. He does. Barry Windsor Smith, fucking legend. Nuratu the 7th has donated $5. Thank you very much. Ray Gonzalez for $5. X-Ray Girl is going to sweep the Oscars with that list.
Oh my god!
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am DEI. All of it.
Did you hear? I meant to talk about this with the Oscars. So there is a thing in Hollywood called, let me get the name right. This is fucking hilarious. It is called disgrace insurance.
Okay.
There's a real thing, and it's from the fashion world, but it also applies to Hollywood. That's called disgrace insurance. And I'm sure, yeah, despite the so they're talking about basically the Amelia Perez shit that went on, and Yves Saint Laurent, I think, is a
Yves
fashion Saint Laurent, some fashion
Yves Saint
shit.
Laurent.
Yves Saint Laurent, Saint Yves Saint Laurent. I close, right?
Sure.
Started a production company to make movies, right? And this is their first foray, or second. It's the second movie out there. And despite the existence of reputational risk insurance, or, and it's in quotes, disgrace insurance, which Susan Scafati of the Fashion Law Institute and at Fordham University said, can't be part of another insurance policies or separate policy designed to cover costs of crisis management and related losses. So they have teams to cover this shit. And now, like Oscar, like there's talk like every actor's got to pretty much scrub their fucking Twitter timeline and Instagram if they know what's good for them. Oh my God, how do you say this, X-Ray Girl? UUDD.
Oodlerbas. I have no idea.
Oodlerbus for $10 says, does cultural soup taste like brown or mystery? Brown or mystery, MauLer?
That's one of my favorite new memes. Brown or mystery. That's the flavor options.
Well, I think it's one of the two. It's definitely.
You know, the conspiracy is that mystery is just brown, but old.
I think they're both brown. Zimbaru for $5 Australian. I thought MauLer was talking about Japan fighting whales, the animal. We all know how that's been going.
Japan are doing pretty fucking well at that, actually.
Better than the Australians versus those birds. Shindu Versus for $10. Hey, BBC. I've been rewatching the Infinity Saga. I know it was panned as the worst of the saga, but where does Thor 2 sit now compared to what we've gotten for you guys? For me, it's not nearly as bad. No, it's not.
So Thor 2 has a very special quality that there's a handful of movies that have it where I can watch it and it'll take between 1 and 3 days where I won't remember a single thing that happened in it. And I've watched that movie like 3 or 4 times in total in my life, and I still don't remember much of anything that happens in it.
A memory dump. Yeah.
I've seen it once. I can barely remember a thing.
I know Malekith is in
his
it.
hand gets cut off.
a fake hand gets cut off because him and Loki are doing some shenanigans. I remember that.
He was in London, wasn't he? In London,
I think he was. There's portals, portal device, weird portal devices get used at the end of the final fight. Christopher Eccleston may as well not be in the film.
The last with the big tits is incredibly annoying. That's all I can remember.
His voice is like death.
Yeah. Wasn't there red? Was the red goo?
There was red goo. That's true. That's
Yes.
the Reality Stone goo.
Reality
right?
Stone. Yes.
Yeah.
I'd still, you know what? It's still better than phase 4 and 5.
So
for the most
normally
part.
I would just simply state that because I'm almost certain it's true, but I just can't remember anything in it. But that's gotta be true.
It feels
Loki
Thor
fake dies.
Oh, you know what? That clears phases 4 and 5 alone in the film is Loki's reaction to his mum dying.
Yep.
That alone is good.
No, both characters are still the characters. Thor and
Yeah.
Loki are still Thor and Loki, and that's pretty important. Yep.
Yeah.
Ian Carlos for $4.99. Every time MauLer mentions Task Manager, I think about the Adobe meme short.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I thought we were talking about you know who.
Yeah. Andrew Valdez for $9.99. The only good part about this year's Oscars was Conan O'Brien because he is the only good person there. He was fun. At times he was funny. And like they did some like just regular funny stuff. Like when Ben Stiller came out for production design and his elevator didn't go up and stuff. Like they need to do a lot more of that and a lot less of, I want to thank the sex worker community when Hollywood's got a bit of a reputation, especially when the sex worker community is the main driver of trafficking. You know, don't want to leave that out, but good job.
Yeah.
You know what'll make me watch the Oscars? Letting Ricky Gervais host it.
Yep.
Yes.
Ricky
I'll
Gervais,
watch it in a heartbeat.
Ricky Gervais roasts every winner. Like it's just a roast. That's all it is. It would be the most watched Oscars ever.
Yeah.
Imagine the roast he would have done for Adrian
won't,
Brody.
but-
Didn't he like break the record for Oscar speech?
Yeah.
Do you see as well that Halle Berry kissed him in front of his wife to recreate the moment from way back?
Yeah.
20 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was like, shit, man.
The ex-wife of Harvey Weinstein, who was really good at catching a piece of gum that was thrown at her. Joseph W. for $1.99. MauLer, please EFAP Blade 1 and Blade 2, please. That's a double please there.
We could do EFAP movies on them someday. Yeah, could happen.
John Yolden for $9.99. The Doctor literally traveled with aliens, Nisa and Turlo. So how can these morons I'm trying to read and I can't. Commenting on X say it's the most diverse TARDIS crew ever. Have they not watched any of the history of the show? No, they haven't. But that was the only reason they did it. That's why they got rid of the white companion. But remember, like when they had Jodie and Yaz, they were like, this is the first time I talked, it's the first all-female TARDIS. They were doing the same shit. Like it's old now. Even at the fucking Oscars when Zoe Saldana is like, I'm the first recipient of the Academy Award of Dominican descent. Sure, my grandparents here moved here in the 60s and I'm 2 generations American. But, I'm second generation American, but yeah, of Dominican descent. And then the costume guy or production designer, can't remember. He's like, I'm the first black man to win it. When I guess earlier in the day or a couple days prior, he said he's the first black person to win it. It's like, no, actually a black woman won it the year before. So,
but remember, diversity just means lack of white.
Yeah. Just started watching Netflix Daredevil and wanted to know which of the other shows I need to watch to get the full story and are good. Terry Masters for $4.99. I'd say just stick with Daredevil and don't watch Defenders. Although it might be a little confusing, but
that's the big problem, man. Like I didn't really want to watch it, but then I was told like, well, but the story you need to see because there's stuff with Foggy and Karen and Defenders as well.
Yeah, there is.
It's
Kind of
annoying.
gotta watch Defenders.
Also, the fate of Elektra, which is kind of funny because she's dead post season 2, and then she's dead again post. You're like, wait, what? You're like, yeah, it's this whole thing. Because they do flashbacks of him and her fighting and being together and stuff, and I was like, man, people who skip Defenders are gonna be like, what the fuck happened? Why was she back? What? Because of course they do have the thing of putting her in the weird coffin and all that, but yeah, I mean, man. I would have thought Defenders would have done better. Not because it's good in any way, shape, or form, but because it's the 4 of them in one show,
Yeah. I thought it should have done better, but then they screwed it up completely.
Hey man, was it Chloe Zhao that was who's the person who made Defenders? It's a funny realization, right, in terms of who directed it. Let me find out. Yeah, I might be
I can't remember.
Mixing people up.
As you look it up, Straight White Honkies from Planet Earth for $4.99. In a World, bringing back the classic from 1992, now updated for a modern audience to reflect the world we live in today.
Oh, sorry, S.J. Clarkson, Madam Web.
Yes. S.J. Clarkson. She was so hot for a while because it was this female lesbian director. She was going to do Star Trek 4. Remember she was one of the 5 directors who was going to do Star Trek 4. S.J. Clarkson.
That's only been in production.
When her name showed up, I was like, oh boy, we're in for quality, chaps. This is going to be great.
JJ Death for $5. Haven't been able to catch EFAP, so I'll ask here, MauLer. TFA update. Stay massive, Longman, and everyone else.
The newest update for me is I think now it's at 6 major projects in the works that'll make a lot of sense. Don't worry, as more time goes on. You're guaranteed 1 this year, and it's going to be very long. You might just get 2, and if you're really lucky, you might just get 3. But one of them is going to be very, very different.
Wow.
I'm working on them every goddamn day, and it's a nightmare.
Keep working, man. Winterwolf, CR7 for $10. Iron Fist 2006 was one of the first comics. It was one of my first comics, right? So I was most excited for that show. It was so terrible. And normally Race Swap sucks, but the Louis Tan should have played Iron Fist instead. Yes, he should have. That was horrible casting.
Yeah, he was so good when he was in it, wasn't he? Just immediately stole the whole screen, just stole it all, gobbled it all up, and made everyone else look like shit.
The guy
just went, why weren't you it? Why didn't you?
Because obviously I didn't watch his own show, but the actor for Danny Rand in The Defenders, he was so weak, like throughout the whole show. Everyone bullies him, treats him like shit, and ties him up and stuff. He loses all of his fights, and he's just whiny. I was like, this is such a fucking lame character. Luke Cage was okay. He's just kind of an idiot a lot of the time. Has no idea what's going on, but just blunders into situations and punches everybody. Jessica Jones is one of the peak, at least in Defenders, sort of like, I don't care about anything characters who has those lines that are like, well, that just happened a lot, which was bugging me. Matt was the only one that was tolerable, and every time it wasn't his scene, I was asking, why isn't Matt on screen right now? I did not have the answer to that question. So not a great team, honestly.
No. And the second seasons of all that stuff didn't help either, except for Daredevil. But man, it would turn to shit quick.
God, Jessica Jones fell off a cliff.
A major cliff. Well, it's because there's only one series to adapt, Alias. That's what it was called originally, is Alias. But they couldn't because of the TV show. Ives the First for 5 Russian pesos. It's funny that Mickey Madison? Mikey Madison.
Mikey?
Oscar win over Demi Moore emulates Sue's arc in The Substance. Yes, this is true. Hollywood has zero self-awareness. Yep. Rated M for $4.99. Gary and MauLer, you all talk about the best send-off movies for Bond the other day, and I was surprised no one mentioned The Rock. I mentioned The Rock as an unofficial Bond movie. Yes.
I think it got mentioned in a super chat as well. It
Yeah,
does
it
usually
did.
come up.
Yes.
We've spoken about this in streams before.
Yep. Star Trekker 58 for 10 Australian dollars. I absolutely set my alarm clock for the Oscars so I didn't accidentally watch it. As for KK, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Flop after flop and willing to carry on making more flops. It is. That's Hollywood too. Doom Wilder for 5 British pounds, proper money. Love you guys all to bits. I was waiting for a but we didn't get it. Just seeing the Dragon Age Veilguard is on PlayStation Plus his monthly free games. Also, Lancashire is better than, did I say that right? Lancashire is better than Yorkshire.
Yeah, fuck off.
There you go. Glad I said that right, or I would have gotten berated. Gary Naz, I started collecting.
I actually would have preferred you to get it wrong.
What? Lancashire?
Yeah, it made it sound like a complete wanker. Yeah.
Human Spider 37 for €5. Gary and as I started collecting comic books stories I like. What's the best way to do it? Do I get single issues or is it okay to get them as books? Thanks. Well, it depends
on your budget.
Depends
Purely
on
on your budget.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I go for the comic first. I go for the original source and I get all the comics, and you absolutely have to collect based on what you like.
Yes.
That's got to be the foundation of your collection, not speculation, not all that shit. You could certainly get your Marvel keys and stuff, but collect what you like. And more often than not, there'll be some gems in there.
Oh, we need to mention, especially because we brought up the Oscars, the fucking disrespect. The In Memoriam didn't have Michelle Trachtenberg, which is one of the ones that's like, maybe that was forgivable because it was so fast. But then they did have Gene Hackman, so that's not really an excuse, is it? But then, yeah, they didn't have Bernard Hill, either way, you know.
Yeah.
But that's like really a huge fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not have him?
Tony Todd.
Tony Todd wasn't there.
It's not a difficult job to discover who. Like, that's just so disrespectful, man.
Yeah. I remember when Patrick McGowan passed away, and they didn't even have Patrick McGowan in the In Memoriam, which is just like, you fucking insane.
But yeah, Michelle Trachtenberg, like, okay, not a cinematic actress, but like, did you see on Twitter and across all social media the response her death got? And like,
it's just a tragedy, and it's not hard to fucking put those in. Like, you know, no one's gonna say like, why is Michelle Trachtenberg in this? But like I said, it's the only one that if they missed her out, I'd be like, that's unfortunate, but I guess I understand how that can happen. I don't understand how they missed it. Tony fucking Todd. He's like an icon of horror.
Yeah.
And you missed a character actor who's in 2 of the biggest movies of all time.
I don't know. Sometimes you wonder about them.
And arguably has top 3 performance in Lord of the Rings.
He's incredible. He's absolutely incredible.
It's a tough battle because everybody's at the top game in that.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, everybody's going to give it to Sean Astin for Sam. And okay, I'm not going to argue with you. But Bernard Hill in fucking Lord of the Rings is a brilliant, absolutely brilliant performance. It's my favorite non-Gandalf character. Armando Limon for $10. I want to see a DC Plastic Man show. The original cartoon is fun and self-aware at times. He has near Superman-like powers. You could also roll with it and have fun. Plastic Man's a very interesting character that they could do, but you need to establish DC first and then bring in Plastic Man. I think he would work. Yes. Rest in peace, George Lowe. His performance as Space Ghost was iconic, and Space Ghost Coast to Coast. He is still my favorite Adult Swim show of all time. It is. L.C. Lappin for $5. Did he pass away? I did not know.
Yeah,
he was alive. Okay,
today, yeah.
R.I.P.
67, I think it was.
Well, I didn't want to be like Eric, like he'd been dead for 5 years and I didn't know. It's like R.I.P.
No, it was announced today as his passing. He's apparently dealing with a long-term illness.
Yep. Dolly Parton's husband died too, 82. They were married for 60 years. That's pretty awesome. James Moore for $5. Memoir of a Snail. should have won over Flow, the best animated movie. Way better and more emotional story. Didn't like Flow at all. There you go. A Working Man trailer looks great. Stallone, Jason, Chuck Dixon. I can't wait for that. It's coming out soon, I think. Gavin Free Nunn for $5. These official award shows are nothing but celebrity circle jerking anyway. I grow tired of this gay earth. And that's all they are now. Like, I mentioned it on Peers. I'll mention it here. Hollywood has lost the working man. That's pretty much. And
Yes.
why is it lost the working man and woman? Okay. And they've lost a lot of women too. Why? Because they have emasculated their entire industry. They have removed masculinity, if you want to look at a foundation. And that is through DEI, intersectionalism, just bad storytelling. They're diluted with horrible talent now who knows nothing of what we were talking about earlier. It's like, see, it's a visual medium. So you can show me the story. You don't need to tell me everything. And they've lost that ability completely. Along with a lot of, it's 1,000 other paper cuts on a bad foundation of we want to be an influence over you over than entertainment. Snacks for $5. The Oscars remind me of what Doc Hudson said to Lightning McQueen. All I see is an empty cup. Cars reference. Ministry of Wrongthink for $4.99. Breaking. Better Man receives dump of millions of votes at 4 a.m. It should have. It's a better movie than most of those fucking best picture nominees. Travis, $4.99. Amazon gets control of Bond. Got me curious. What is each of your favorite Bond movies and each actor?
Favorite Bond actor, got to be Connery. Favorite Bond movie, GoldenEye.
Favorite Bond actor is Brosnan. Favorite Bond is GoldenEye, but the easy follow-up is Connery and Goldfinger.
Favorite Bond is Sean Connery. Favorite Bond movie is Live and Let Die.
Oh, okay.
It's the one I had the most fun with. And then I got to say, like in the top 3 is Casino Royale.
I'd say Casino Royale is my second favorite.
Casino
behind
Royale
GoldenEye.
fucking great.
Good shit.
It is.
Yep.
But GoldenEye's just
GoldenEye's
like,
up there too. Same director. Same director.
Yeah.
Same director as the cleaner.
As the cleaner and Green Lantern and Green Lantern.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Yep. All right. I still got a few to read, but if you guys need to go, you can go.
I do need to get off.
Okay.
That's what she said, by the way.
What do you got coming up?
Tomorrow, Ripping the Seal back on my channel, 7:30 UK time, 1:30 Central time, and Stuff and Things. Stuff and Things.
Excellent. Well, we'll see you on your channel next week.
Yes, sir. Madam, sir. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. MauLer, do you need to go?
I can hang around. How long are you planning on going for?
It's looking like 10 minutes.
Should be fine.
Okay. It's looking like 10 minutes. We've got Dearest for $5. Firefighters had more water served than at the Oscars than they had at the fires. Fact. It's funny and true. Bradley Nees for $5. At least Harvey made good movies. Okay. I mean, yeah.
Jeez.
Zeddy Boy for $5. How iconic is it that Demi Moore, for her role in The Substance, lost the Oscar to a younger, hotter commodity of an actress? Nice going, Hollywood. Yep. Unregulated Nerd for $5. Anora is the first film to be nominated for Best Picture at both the Oscars and the AVN Awards. Larith Valthier, Porn Awards, for $5. Please cover the biggest internet news of the week about Hassan, is it Hassanabi? Is that his real name? Hassan
That's
Nabi?
the channel name, I think.
Hassanabi.
Hassan
Calling.
Piker is the name.
Yeah. Hassan Piker. Calling for the killing of a U.S. senator. It's fallout like you won't believe. And he's back. And he's back.
And it'll be forgotten in a week, and you'll probably do it again.
Yep. No, it's not a level playing field out there. But that's why Twitch is kind of cratering right now. It's got a handful of big creators still changed its ad policy, but
it seems like it would crash and burn faster, but I'm sure it's still getting there. Give it time.
Amazon backing it probably helps a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The Zone Jumper for €5. Hi guys, what are your thoughts on the Starship Troopers series in the style of Band of Brothers based on the book? It'd be cool if it was done in a different realm and done accurately, but that'd be really cool. Captain Falco for $4.99. Don't forget, they didn't mention the other celebrity deaths that happened this year. R.I.P. Donnie. Yeah, we just talked about that, which was, there's always some left out, but those seemed egregious. Stewie Felt for $5. Wasn't Lucas a hypocrite because he was a big advocate for not colorizing old movies? Was he against that? Pretty much every filmmaker was against that when Turner started colorizing old movies, and it looked like shit anyway. It did. The Viking of disapproval for $4.99. The one Star Wars change I was always okay with was putting the proper Emperor hologram in Empire Strikes Back. I was not. It's
I
fine.
generally side on the don't change anything sort of thing. I get the logic on a lot of the changes, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? It is what it is.
Dude,
leave it alone.
Seeing that for the first time was so fucking mind-blowing as a kid. Like seeing the back of Darth Vader's head, seeing the Emperor, we're like, what the fuck? This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's that opening up into a big world that we didn't know much about. We knew there was an Emperor. We knew there was something under Darth Vader, but it's allowing those things, not over explaining things. Lucas was good in the beginning at not over explaining things, partially because he had people holding him back. I want Mark Malkin to ask Kathleen Kennedy if her retirement is the gayest retirement ever. He's kind of one of our favorites on the red carpet. What regrets? All space generals wear silk nightgowns on the job, says Stewie Felt for $5. This is true. Admiral Holdo. Fourth drawer down for $4.99. Will Kathleen Kennedy have her open pyramid? Maybe. She will never die. The Viking of disapproval for $4.99. Final shot of the trailer is Rey igniting the surprise second blade of her lightsaber in time with Luke's meme. Luke is a meme now. Saley for $5. The overall trash being sent out by Sony, Disney, and DC for superhero film/TV have created apathy across the entire genre. The East will take over. It will. That's the fatigue argument, right, MauLer? You could say it's just bad movie fatigue, but that's pretty much all we're getting, and that will eventually drown out the good ones. That's what fatigue is.
As you said a couple of times, this July is going to answer a lot of questions as to the state of things, movie culture-wise.
Yep. Funny how people said there's minimal reshoots, yet Seth Rollins, who was in the movie, exposed that there were extensive reshoots. Yes, many people did. They're trying to, and successfully in a lot of ways, revisionist history, but they're very good at it. And people just want to believe it too. I'm late to make this joke, but why The Last Jedi? Oh, that's okay. We know what you're talking about. Earlier on, realistic delinquent.
I think it's Cocky.
Cocky 4 for $5. Been working at a theater restaurant mashup for about 10 years, and these last 3 years have been the worst I've experienced. Time to look for other work. Yeah, theaters are in serious trouble right now. Mr. Blue Sky for $4.99. I kept waiting for Sam to be like, hey, there's a big guy Sun, it's getting real low. The sun is getting real low. Oh, hey there, big guy. There is a big guy. What the fuck? I can't read. No One's Business for $2.79 Canadian. How do you guys feel about Hush 2 comic book coming? I don't. It's 20 years old. It's 20 years old. It's Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee, and that's great. But you know what Batman and comics need is a good long story that people are engaged in, not a gimmick or a sequel to another story from 20 years ago. They need a current story that's new, that engages people. It has to be story-driven, not variant-driven and all that bullshit. We're so far past that, though. James Spade her, says Lord Moore. Barbecue Doomsday for $5 says, do Hot Toys sell out fast? Vi, Jinx, and Grievous came out later this year, and curious if I should pre-order soon or if I have time to set money aside. Thanks. As far as like Star Wars stuff, Grievous, maybe. I don't know with the Star Wars stuff. The Marvel stuff tends to sell out pretty fast.
We'll say Jinx probably will sell out fast.
Yeah. I would guess. It's up to you. I don't pre-order from any of these companies anymore. Because they take forever. It takes a couple of years, or you might not get it at all. Sideshow is one of the better companies, and they don't steal your money. But Big Chief did. Jason Stahl for $4.99. Oh, look, it's Norin Rad. Clank, I'm the Tank for $5. I would pay money to see some of Legion of Deadpool cut down. A Legion of Deadpool cut down the Young Avengers, Falcon, and characters we hate to force them to get OG characters back. That would be great. Deadpool kills the Marvel. What's the Deadpool kills Marvel Phase 4? That would be good. Stewie Felt for $2. Just wait until
I can't say this.
Fantastic. Can't do it.
Me neither.
Fantastic. Jesus Christ. I'm going to hurt myself.
Thanks, Stewie.
Thanks, Stewie. Dave T. Geek for $5. Avengers 5 should make the entire Avengers team from non-MCU movie characters with Doctor Strange. Use time travel that erases Phase 4 and the blip. That already sounds like a better idea. Mark Reality for $5. Anytime you see something that's super complicated, it's either one, hiding something, or two, legit complicated. Astrophysics is number one. Government accounting is number two. That's a good point. Shark Dentures for $5. Gary, comic book trivia. What's the name of the Fantastic Four ally, silly, playful, green, elfish shape, changing alien that gets on the Thing's nerves? My mind is a blank right now, and I should know. I'm really tired. Chris from Michigan for $5. RIP. George Lowe, the voice of Space Ghost. The voice of Space Ghost. The Lone Boomer for $5. It came to me that Oscars aren't choosing the best movie. They're choosing the best Academy DEI compliant movie made. Yes. And that's why like Emilia Perez threw everything off. Threw absolutely everything off. Because that was very compliant. It was going to sweep. It was going to sweep, MauLer. And looking at the ratings, maybe you should have given the dude Best Actress. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you should have gone ahead. Maybe you should have gone ahead and done it. But you didn't. So, oh well. Stewie Felt for $5. Let me guess, the nurse will be this doctor's new impossible girl. Yes. Weren't they kind of doing that with, God, what was her name again? Like I said, my brain's not like entirely firing on cylinders right now. What was Ruby Rose? Ruby Road?
Oh, yeah.
Ruby Rose was, she was kind of an impossible girl. We still don't know the answer to that, but it really gave you that those vibes.
Wait, you talking about Doctor Who?
Yeah, Doctor Who's last season.
Yeah, she was born on Ruby Road?
Yes.
Ruby Rose is
No,
Batwoman.
Rose. Yeah, I know. So Rose was the dude that was Donna's daughter that they named after Rose, but it was Ruby something or other. It's Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby Tuesday? Is that her name? Ruby Tuesday? Ruby Rose? Ruby Road? Whatever. I don't care. Yeah. She was an impossible girl. A logical victory for $5. It's almost as if Twitch are anti-Semitic. Terrorist supporters who hate America's culture and they want money payers to know. Weird. Twitch has definitely got their side of the political aisle. For sure. That's why I never go there. Like ever. Gary, did you see Dupe was in the leak concept art, the Young Avengers? I did see Dupe was in there. Good old Dupe. Ale for €5. What's your opinion on Crisis on Infinite Earths? I was disappointed reading it. Technobabble, slow progression, unknown characters, dull villain. I loved Crisis on Infinite Earths. I did, but you'd have to really be into that stuff. If you're going into it cold, it might not be your thing. Because again, it's a culmination of events. And you would have to really be, a big comic fan to know half of it. If Superman sucks, I'm done with cape shit forever, says Lee Cameron for €2. There's a lot of normies who might agree with you. Rated M for $1.99. Love the Poseidon Adventure with Gene Hackman. Stewie Felt for $2. Goldfinger will retain its title. There you go. Grimlock, 1975 for €2. R.I.P. George Lowe, the voice of Space Ghost. Rest in peace, sir. Rebellion 765 for $6.99. What Nolan movie would you have liked to be directed by someone else, or a movie you would have liked to be directed by Nolan? So a movie he took on that should have been directed by somebody else, probably Interstellar's MauLer's answer.
That's not gonna. The script needs help on that one. I kind of like him as a director. Like, he's got a good eye for a lot of things, and like his soundtrack, his music mixing could use help with some of his stuff. But what's a movie that he sort of was behind that I would prefer a different direction? Probably Inception. I would have liked someone who'd want to take Inception a bit further with how it's in dreams. He ended up creating dreamscapes and dream stuff. Like when the world almost folds in on itself. That's like the most memorable part of that movie, and I would have loved to see more of that. And I don't know if that requires a director that wanted to pursue more dreamlike, epic dream things. So maybe that, and then vice versa. I wouldn't mind seeing Nolan tackle. I don't know. Maybe Bond.
I think it would feel like it's going into the Craig era territory, but I think Nolan would handle a grounded version better and still respect Bond lore. I think Bond, definitely. What movie did I see that I wish he didn't direct? I don't know. I don't know. I have to think about that. Rebellion 7-6. I haven't loved all his movies.
Nobody has.
Yeah, I have not loved all his movies. But I don't think he should have. I don't think somebody else could have done better. I just don't. Rebellion 765 for $6.99. If Christoph Waltz was going to be in a Marvel or DC, who do you think he should play? Well, who plays Zemo? What's the actor's name?
Oh, good question.
Christoph Waltz will be a good Zemo, but they already have a good actor for Zemo.
Daniel Bruhl, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's excellent as Zemo. You don't need a replacement, but yeah, it's all right. We got we've got plenty of actors playing all kinds of.
Recast him as Red Skull. Make him
Who
Red
specifically?
Skull.
Sorry, out of those two.
Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, he could do Red Skull.
He could do Red Skull. That's what I'd have him do. Go in
Whatever
there.
they'll have him do, they'll waste him.
They will waste him. All right, that's it. End of the show. Thanks for staying this long, MauLer. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks to all the Nerdrotics out there. What do you got coming up, MauLer?
This Saturday, there is no EFAP episode. Instead, we'll be getting the Indiana Jones supercut starring myself, Metal, and Az. And as far as I know, Little Platoon, Random Film Talk, and Rags are all still continuing the Gollum playthroughs. As soon as all of them are complete, the supercut for that will be constructed, and we'll bring the whole gang back together to watch it on an EFAP episode. That's going to be fun. But, the rest of the year, we got shit tons coming up with Daredevil, for example. Snow White, that moment in July where it's just going to be constant flurry of new films that we're interested in covering over on EFAP. But we're hoping to sprinkle in some other episodes, different things happening. And of course, I get asked about this a lot. Comedy Arc is coming. It is coming.
It is coming.
We're doing what we can.
Do what we can. Some fuckers just can't show up. Pieces of shit. What do you got coming up, X-Ray Girl?
Stuff and things, I guess. No, I'll be traveling tomorrow, so
Yeah.
we'll see if I even have energy. But
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Well, I've had Daredevil. Hopefully it's not Daredevil. That man without fear, the Daredevil. I've had Daredevil circled on the calendar for a while, so I'm going to watch that tonight. And we'll be doing a video on it. And in the meantime, we got Paul Chato coming up on FNT.
yeah.
And and then Chris and I will be on the Nooner tomorrow. And he's watched the whole thing. I don't know how much he can talk about. We're not going to spoil shit. So, not spoiling anything. Not this early, anyway. So, stay tuned. Stay tuned. But thanks again to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat donation. You help keep the lights on around here. And we'll see you next week on Az's channel. Ciao.
Bye.